Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the MinnMax Show, a place about games, friends, and getting better. I'm joined by Janet Garcia.
Hello.
I'm joined by the one and only Sarah Podzorski.
Hello. My opinions on the new Fox, it does not reflect my employer's opinions.
What you think?
Please do not come for me.
Okay, you think he's...
So you're into the Fox.
He's definitely super hot and super sexy.
And you like how thick his neck is?
I love it, Ben. I
Cool.
think he's so good looking.
Well, she said it. There we go, everybody. This is a new episode of the MinnMax Show podcast. We have a lot to talk about. We're talking about Stranger Than Heaven, which is just based on presentations that Sega's been rolling out. This is from the creators of Yakuza Like a Dragon. We'll be unpacking that whole thing in a big way. We're going to be talking about Forza Horizon 6, the new racing game set in Japan. We'll be unpacking that in a huge way. Then we're talking about Mina The Hollower from the creators of Shovel Knight. This is the way that they phrase it is it's their take on Zelda, where Shovel Knight is their take on Mario. This is kind of their adventure game that's very Souls-inspired, but with a Game Boy Color aesthetic. So we'll be talking about Mina the Hollower based on a preview, technically. Jeffem's going to share his thoughts on the Steam controller, because, by the way, I should have mentioned it's three of us now, but we have Kyle and Jeffem that are going to be jumping in a little bit here. And then we'll be talking Forbidden Solitaire, and then back half of the show, we have some wonderful questions submitted over there from the community on Patreon. Thanks for making the show better, folks. Sarah, you're about to fly out to Japan for your MinnMax Spotlight, your first MinnMax Spotlight trip.
Wow. And it's in Japan.
How sweet.
I'm such a lucky girl.
You've been screaming to go to Japan for a long time, and we're glad it finally worked out. So you're going to be visiting 17-bit. They have a new game called Oasis. That is physics-based dungeon brawler is kind of their take. So it's going to be a look at that game's development overall, and then also you and Haley McLean exploring Kyoto. Bonus pod this week was all about you all planning your trip in like exhaustive detail. I think the amount of planning that you all have put into
We are both of the planning type.
That's what you've learned. Yeah, so bonus pod is all about that. And then the big thing is there's going to be a community meetup in Kyoto. People have been asking for a meetup in Japan for a while now. And so there's a link below in the description if you want to learn more details. But Kyoto, we're kind of going there to attend Bit Summit as well. And so that's where Bit Summit takes place. And so kind of combining with that. So there's going to be a community meetup on Friday, May 22nd from 7 to 9 p.m. In Kyoto, Japan. So you don't need to be a Patreon supporter. If you're a listener, swing on by. You can bring a friend. Link in the description for more. Here's the part where it sounds sketchy, but it's not.
It's not.
The meetup is located under a bridge by a river, but it's not some weird troll stuff. This is called the Sanjo Bridge, and it's where people hang out around Bit Summit, apparently. And so it's going to be a nice little boardwalk by the river underneath the bridge. So go to the Sanjo station, then head west across the river. Again, link in the description if you want to learn more. Sarah, it just feels so weird. Like when I was posting that on Patreon, I called you because
You called me and I was panicking. I was like, what could Ben be calling me about? Like at least text first. Like, are you a psychopath?
You genuinely felt scared when
I was scared. I was like, what is he? I get scared. Like, text me first and tell me that you're going to call me. Or else I'm going to assume it's an emergency.
I was stressed because I need to get this posted up on Patreon, and I'm looking at Google Maps and these Japanese addresses, and I don't know where the hell this is, and I don't want to just send out a post to like 12,000 people saying go under a bridge. And I'm like, if I text Sarah, she might not get back to me for a little bit. I want to get this done and go to bed. I'm just going to call her. And then it sounded like I needed to defuse a bomb immediately and be like, Sarah, it's okay. It's all okay. I'm just calling
literally, I got so scared. I was like, what happened? Don't call me.
Okay. No one calls Sarah. Even if you have her number, never
Don't call
her, please.
And if you're going to call, text first and let me know that it's not an emergency.
But if I would have texted, I don't think you would have texted back. This is my
if you said, Sarah, can I call you and talk about the bridge?
You would have gotten back.
I would be like, fine, okay.
But if I just would have texted you and said, Sarah, can we talk? You would never answer that text in a million
That's
years.
awful. Don't text that.
Don't text that.
That sounds worse.
Well, maybe I just want a podcast with you. Off hours. It's fun to talk to Sarah. Hey, everybody. They're going to Japan, just like we're going to Japan throughout this episode, actually.
Dare I say it's a lot of Japan right now for me personally.
Good thing, right? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you have to you've spoken a lot of Japanese in your life. Mm-hmm. Have you felt yourself like, oh, are you rusty at all? Do you feel like you need to dust off some cobwebs for this?
For like an entire month, I've been trying to like sort of like immerse myself more and like really brush up on my Japanese.
Yeah.
Because Haley keeps going around telling everyone that I'm fluent.
Are you not?
And I'm like, could we
Literally same
lower,
question, are you not?
could we lower our expectations a little bit? Like I haven't been to Japan in like about 10 years, haven't spoken Japanese in about 10 years.
Yeah.
Like sure, I would arguably say that I'm communicative. But don't expect me to get up on stage and like give a presentation in Japanese.
No one's asking that. But
I'm like that fluent is a loaded statement for anyone who's learned a language, okay? Because I feel like if you're truly learning a language, the idea of like true fluency eludes you. When you're like learning a language, no matter how much you learn, no matter how much you study, no matter how much you immerse yourself, I feel like the idea of fluentness and fluency is like a moving goalpost.
all you have to do.
That is true. But did you, like, not to put you on blast, but have you yourself not described yourself that way? Because I feel like that's where I'm getting it from. I thought you.
I've never come out and say like, hey guys, like I can read Japanese, I can understand Japanese, I can speak it, but it's like I'm not gonna be like
What's left?
no, like I'm not gonna be like allow me, like I don't feel comfortable like translating things for people, you know, because it's like I don't want
do
to
that
get
before.
into nuance. No, I was never a translator. I was an editor, so I edited the English that was translated from the Japanese with the knowledge of what the base was, which is kind of helpful.
Right, but like, you know, with the resources to like, you can use resources and be able to know if they're good or not.
Yeah, like I had the raw translation, and then I could say, okay, like I see where they're going with this, and if I need to reference the Japanese, I can.
Right. I mean, but all you need to do, and Haley's going to be gaga, she's going to have hearts for eyes, is like when you sit down at a restaurant, you'll be able to speak to the waiter and order in Japanese and read the menu and order.
And then like have small talk, you know, if they're like, what are you doing in town? I can be like, we're doing this.
Oh, yeah.
To be able to answer someone's question, that's all you really need.
Instead of just smiling and nodding and pointing and just hoping, please leave me alone. Yeah, you're already on cloud nine. You're doing great, Sarah.
Yeah, but Haley's she's telling everyone I'm fluent, and I'm like, I really gotta study.
I really gotta
get back to studying.
I was like,
and I'm like, Haley, lower the bar, please.
Well, the bar is pretty damn high for the studio behind Yakuza Like a Dragon, and they released a trailer a while back for a game called Project Century, if you recall, and everyone's like, what is this? Is this connected to Yakuza? What is going on? Then they unveiled that, hey, it actually has a name, that this game is called Stranger Than Heaven, and then they had a presentation recently where they revealed that at least part of this game's story is it's kind of the origins of the Tojo clan from the Yakuza series. And so this game, I feel like they're excited for it, but I feel like there's a subset that's like red hot and like screaming to the wider world, like, this might be goaty, everybody, get ready for Stranger Than Heaven. Because it's a very cool premise where it's like apparently the story of two buddies, and one of them is like half white and half Japanese and coming from San Francisco to Japan. And then it's chronicling like their journey and their rise from rags to riches through the course of 50 years. But it
seems like one of them is sort of in like the underworld side and the other one is sort of in like the governmental side. So it looks like you get two looks at like the different halves of Japan.
Yeah, which is so cool. And like it reminds me even like a Dragon Quest V, like any game where you're kind of jumping throughout a character's entire life is so much more compelling. And the idea of like, okay, starting out in 1915, then 1929, then 1943, then 1951, then 1965, like jumping around Japan and just seeing.
Which is an insane, like I like cracked open my history book.
Yeah.
Like I literally cracked open my college history book to like refresh myself on this period in Japan's time.
It's a lot.
And it is, to me, I think it's one of the most interesting periods in Japan in general, right? It's like not only do you have, like it covers all of World War II, I think. And then you're also getting that war within Japan where they're modernizing and they're adopting like Western trends, but then they're simultaneously fighting against that trend.
Right.
So there's just like push and pull on what is Japan going to be? They're trying to get a seat with like the big boys that are Britain and stuff like that. Like they're trying to become the biggest power in Asia. And it's like, it's a lot of like push and pull on like, what does it mean to be Japanese? How do we become like a big superpower? And yeah, it's just really interesting period in Japanese history. And then it's like, also they're like, we're also committing several atrocities
right
across the board. So it's like, I'm interested to see how they're going to interpret their own history.
Yes. And thinking about it, it wasn't until right now where I realized like, it's just weird to have a series that's covering this much time. Because I was like, oh my God. So they're going up to 1965. Then Yakuza 0 is 1989. But then I was like, wait, no, Like a Dragon Ishin is also covering like centuries before. And so it's just like the span that technically this world has covered.
See a lot of games set in this time period in Japanese history because it's so complicated, I think.
Yeah.
And because like I feel like maybe just collectively we're all stuck in our little like samurai era.
Right.
We're still stuck in like the Sengoku period. Like we're still kind of stuck in that period. So I think this will be really cool to see how they pull this off.
And especially them like ending in 1965 in Kamurocho then for kind of like the grand finale. And they're very cagey. They had a great presentation where they said something like, there's kind of like a big secret there that we can't quite reveal. Seemed like gameplay.
Is it the empty
twist.
lot? Is it the origin of the Yakuza 0 empty lot?
Okay, so this is the weird thing of like the way that they're framing this now is like, you know, there's one little line in the presentation where the character is like, you know, I want to start a place that's safe for people in the crime world. It feels like Metal Gear Solid and like starting Mother Base, you know? It feels like the origins of everything. And so it's so fun to go back and look at this and be like, okay, so if it's all starting with these friends and the friends are best friends with a person literally played by Snoop Dogg, is Snoop Dogg like the catalyst for the entire underworld of the Yakuza
He's actually one of the
series?
founding fathers of the Japanese Yakuza. We all know this.
It's so absurd. Janet, did you like seeing Snoop Dogg pop up?
Hell no, I didn't like seeing
okay.
Snoop Dogg pop up. That Trump ring-kissing grifter? Hell no.
Yeah, get him, Janet, get him.
Everyone hates Snoop Dogg, and if you don't hate Snoop Dogg at this point, that's a little bit weird. Yeah, it is very unfortunate the turn that Snoop Dogg has taken, where he was very like vocally anti-Trump and saying like, I would never like, who's gonna go perform for him, and then going to do that is like wild.
I think he'll just
trying to push that aside. You know, I'm really excited for the game. I mean, I think this presentation just did like a great job, like hitting on so many things, like creating like a vibe, having like it's so rare to even see like a through line and almost motif within the presentation, like the way they incorporated like music to transition between things. Like I really got a good sense of not just what the game's going to be, but why I should be excited about the game and why this is something like worth paying attention to, especially in the context of like, I'm a newer RGG Studios fan, and it has been kind of intimidating to jump in and then suddenly be like, oh my God, actually there's a game coming out tomorrow. And then there's another game coming out 3 days after that. And I kind of just missed out on Infinite Wealth and Pirate Yakuza. But this feels like so, like I'm planning to lock the hell in to play this. It just seems so like fresh and exciting while also building on what they're great at, which is like good storytelling and pretty like strong combat. Obviously they do a different take each time, and yeah, I'm really excited for it, despite that the fact that I don't like seeing Snoop Dogg at this point in my life, but he's here.
I do miss when the Yakuza people were all just Japanese actors and then like the porn stars. Like, I'll be totally honest, I don't like this weird turn where like American actors. I'm like, really, I liked it. It's a little weird.
It made me laugh to see Snoop Dogg, and he's holding like a pistol from 1915, but he's like holding it sideways, like I'm like, I don't know if that's how they're doing it back in the day, but sure, I guess he can jump on in there. But then they're also having a bunch of singers in this game, because that is kind of the big thing. Is like, combat's going to be brawling combat, and you can technically punch and kick from either side. Sure, it sounds
you control each
interesting.
side independently.
Right. But then it seems like a big piece of the gameplay and kind of the story here is you're a showman, and
that's what I'm worried about.
Oh, really? Why?
That was the part
worry?
that made me nervous, because I find that when people try to shoehorn being a musician into things, it gets a little cringy.
Yeah.
Like when he's like, you gotta feel the rhythm of the streets, and you gotta like, you hear the clang clang of the sledgehammer coming towards your head, and you're like, the beat of the sledgehammer. I'm inspired to make music.
It felt like kind of that series of quests in Miles Morales. You remember that, where it's like you have to go
what
around?
I wrote down, Ben.
Yeah. You go and like sample music, and it's like that was a fine part of the game. It seems like that is extending throughout a big chunk of this game, at least. Is like, you see a train go by, and it's like, absorb its sound, and then you'll use that to inspire new music, and then hire different singers to perform at the club to my train sounds or whatever the hell is going on. It's like, I like that they have an angle, and I think having like a bunch of music from like the 20s and 40s and stuff in here, I think it's going to give it a really unique flavor, but I can't say it looked fun to absorb different sounds, I don't think.
It's like,
maybe
if you
I'm
want to be a
broken, 'cause
musician, just
I
say
kind of want
that.
to do that.
Yeah?
I kind of want to absorb the sounds. I think it might be a flop. Like, Sarah, you're not wrong in clocking that, because like it definitely something else I worry about with Yakuza, having really only spent like significant time with like a dragon, is stuff that is like technically additional, because it kind of feels like, I'm sure mandatory you'll have to do some of that, but it seems more of a like, this is kind of a form of a collectible that can kind of, you know, deepen elements of the music and the story. But there are certain things in Yakuza where they're like, hey, this is optional, but not if you want to have an easy time. And that was, I think, back to that business mini game that I refused to learn and chose to just struggle, because I'm like, guys, I don't want to learn it. I don't understand it. And they're like, just look up a couple of videos. I said, no, I'm not doing it. And I just kind of dragged my body through that game, avoiding that. So I do worry about something like this being like a pseudo optional. Like if it is kind of whack, as you're suggesting that it might be, Sarah, like that will be an L. But I like the idea of just having like an additional way to engage with the world, and them talking about, oh, like at different times of the day, there'll be different sounds available. Like, I don't know. It does sound kind of doofy, but it's the kind of thing that I feel like will be a fun little treat to sort of, oh, I've never seen this cat before. Let me like get its meow on my little thing. I'm also kind of obsessed with sound design and like Foley work. Yeah. So maybe it's me wanting to like live vicariously through someone who's capturing like IRL audio to make it into stuff.
Yeah, I guess if there's, I don't know, it can tap into some satisfying collectathon. That's kind of the angle there. And it's like, it's an interesting hook, I think, for this game with this character, is like building up that entire stage show performance and stuff. Like, I really want to know.
Well, it's like, it's giving like when Yakuza had like Haruka's like idol performance. Like, is this going to span all the decades? Right. Or is it going to be a very specific time period, and then you won't have to do it when you move past that time period?
Right. Is it just like before you get into the kind of the crime
Are we
boss
just doing
territory?
when like jazz was popular and then bad things happen and then we move on? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, is this going to span the entire game?
Yeah. I'm also wondering, like, it's so cool to go through these different decades, but like, are we going to be able to see the cities as they evolve? Because right now it makes it seem like every new era you're in a new city. And I think part of the cool thing is like, I want to go back and see some of the older environments like 50 years later and stuff, you know?
I think you'll be able to recognize like the heavier industrial revolution. Like, I think each city you'll see something like maybe less traditional Japanese things, and you'll see more Western things. Yeah. And that'll continue to grow as you go from city to city to city. But I think it's incredibly ambitious. Because like what Yakuza was good at was like picking one city and then just detailing the heck out of it. Yeah. Right. So now that there's so many cities, it's like, I don't know, I kind of like the exploring one city. Like, so it's interesting. They're taking big swings with this. And also the tone seems more serious. And obviously, Yakuza games have serious main storylines, but then there's so much goofy stuff happening. It's like, will we still strike that balance between a really serious story, but have time for like the goofy side stuff?
I would certainly think so. I mean, unless the team is just dying to do something completely different tonally, but I think they'll probably have their trailer that showcases like even more wacky minigames and stuff. They show a couple little things in there on the minigame front that seem like, okay, this is where some of the silliness is coming through. But yeah, Stranger Than Heaven is the name of it. And they say it's coming out in the winter. And so who knows what that means, right? Like, I'm thinking about, they released Pirate Yakuza in February. And so it's like, I wonder if they would even consider that the winter, maybe at the latest. But hopefully it drops before the end of the year. Although, I wonder if they're just trying to stay away from GTA even. So maybe they would want to push it into 2027 realistically. Who knows? But then the other drama and the other side of this coin, which is weird, is like, you know, the original Yakuza creator, Nagoshi, he left and built up that new studio with NetEase. I don't know if you saw the drama this week then. They released that trailer last year called Gang of Dragon, which looked a lot like Yakuza. And then NetEase has been saying, everybody finish every NetEase project on your own. We don't want to fund these anymore. And so everyone was worried about this project, if it was getting across the finish line, needing a new publisher, what was going on. Seems like it was going to have to be self-funded for everything here on out. And then this week, they took the website down for Gang of Dragon. And so it feels like this other... Like it's over. It might be. Or maybe they're going to overhaul it completely and announce a new publisher or something in Summer Game Fest. But it's a weird saga right now for the larger Yakuza universe. But
it's like the Yakuza clans in Yakuza.
It's just like that.
It's the warring Yakuza games.
Oh my gosh.
Life imitates art. The main theme also kind of rips. I do love that main theme.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that cool? Just like the main theme in Forza Horizon 6, rips. A franchise that I've been enjoying for a very long time. And I feel like I've always been out on a weird limb for just saying like, hey, it's good, easy gaming, everybody. Like, they will not stop you. You just need to hit a couple things on the D-pad. It will show you the next fun race to do and go explore this open world. Go nuts. But also, I feel like no one else has gotten into it. Janet, you got to 5 after? Was that right? Like after it launched, after our 210s debate and all that stuff?
Which one was 5?
5 was the Mexico one.
I feel like I did play it before those debates. Maybe I just didn't have a lot to say. Like, I didn't get that far in it, but I did play that one and I liked that one a lot.
Okay.
You know, as someone that like is Mexican and like has been to Mexico when I was a kid, it was like so cool to like see you can drive like through the pyramids and stuff, even though that's like probably not, you know, it's a video game. So it's like, it's just fun to see experience those things from like a different angle. And especially it being something that I feel like people that are outsiders to Mexico don't associate with Mexico, even though it's like, that's very much like a big deal in Mexico. Like the pyramids are like such a big thing to look at. Like, I'm very curious, Sarah, like as the only person who's lived in Japan, like did it hit in like a harder, more specific way for you than, you know, it might for someone like me who has like not been?
The first thing I was so confused about was like, yeah, in the opening of the game, they have you drive through all these different places, like to kind of show off the different tracks, to show off the different things. And I was like, they like show you over the hill and then like there's Tokyo. And I'm like, wow, Tokyo's a lot closer than I thought it was. And it's weird because you're driving through, you hit the Shibuya crossing, but then when you're driving through Shibuya, you'll see things that will remind you of like Akihabara. And it's like, it's weird because they do really condense everything down.
Yeah.
To sort of like a really like top 10 areas. And I was really like, I mean, they did a really good job. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I was like, wait a second. I'm like, I don't remember this being so close to here.
It is. It's a condensed down kind of Disneyland version of it. Like, you can drive all the way to Kyoto and go through the bamboo forest of Kyoto, Sarah, before you go there in real life here again.
But I love that they have like the really small side streets in Tokyo.
Yeah. Because
like when I would like take a taxi around Tokyo and we would have to drive through those like really narrow streets, I was always terrified. So it's like, that's really cool that they included that as well.
It is fun. I think it's just like the first Forza Horizon game that's been in a place that like I've been to and spent a decent amount of time in. So it is fun to like slowly cruise through their version of Tokyo and just see like how detailed are their little convenience stores here. The Shibuya Crossing, do they have the Hachiko statue, the little dog statue? I don't think they quite have him. So it's fun to see picking up where it is. And like, it's a really interesting tone. Where like I'm absolutely having a blast with this game. You know, like I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as I enjoyed like 3 or 5. But so much of these games are kind of like, look, there's not a revolution happening here. It's not a bunch of wild new stuff. It's like if you like racing in beautiful environments and just kind of being drip fed a bunch of really great looking races across this open world, you're gonna have a good time with the Forza Horizon series. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy how gorgeous the cars are.
Yeah.
The amount of effort they put into like designing those cars, like the 1-to-1 realism, and they show you the interior and they're like, it's all modeled, it looks the same. Like, it's really cool to finally have like those Japanese cars.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh my God, it's like the deja vu. I've been in this place. You're like, it's that car. You know, it's that car. It's the initial D car. But it's crazy how beautiful the cars are.
Yeah.
And then the people look like absolute butts.
Literally what I was going to add to what you're saying, Carol.
What?
It's like they show me this gorgeous car in this nice environment. You know, I'm playing on via Steam, and like when I boot it up, they're like, I don't know if your graphics card's right up to snuff, honey. And then they like did the diagnostic, and they're like, you're actually fine. Go ahead at max settings. I'm like, great. And then like you get a peek in the window, and it's like the most hideous avatar I've ever seen. They're so bad. And I know like people will be in the comments saying, oh, you're inside the car, you don't even see it. One, you do see yourself a decent amount like in the cutscenes. And I think what's a bummer, and I know you get more like, you know, clothes and stuff as you go or whatever, like ways you can customize, but I assume. But like, it's just, you start off so swagless that it really does take away. I'm like, my character comes on screen and I close my eyes because I don't want to witness the horrors. It looks like the character I design looks like something someone would design if they hated me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and they said, hey, I made you in a game, it looks just like you. And they showed me my avatar. I'd be like, this person really want to insult my parents.
And it's like that's the framing of like every time they have a cutscene, it's like it's May and she's so excited to finally have you visit Japan. Every time they were talking, I was like, what is this? What is the storyline you're trying to convey? Other than
it feels like they're paying these people to be my friends.
It's just like the framing is like, hey, the Horizon Festival is a big party, and she finally convinced everybody to go to Japan and host it there. The end. It's like, I think the series does well when it's like that party festival vibe. And there's a part of me every once in a while of like, look, people in Japan like to have fun, but like, it's like the wacky vibe of the Horizon Festival meshing well with the vibe of Japan overall.
I do feel like it meshed really well with Mexico, because I played the one that was set in Mexico, and the festival into like I feel like it was a little seamless.
Yes.
The Japanese one, not as seamless, but I just think that they don't have that good party vibe that Mexico has.
It's just so weird to be like looking at Mount Fuji in the distance, and like the first time that, it pops up on the radio and intercom with someone talking to you, it's like, hey, what's up, people? I'm like, this just feels
Welcome to Tokyo, bro.
It's an odd mix, but what are they going to do? Like, I want to race to Japan. I want to be in this environment. I don't need them to be like super
Japan
delicate.
has great car culture. Japan has a huge car culture. They have great street racing culture. But like the festival vibe,
yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not like jarring.
No,
but you're like it's just not as good. It flowed really well with the Mexico one.
Right.
I agree, and I think even the other one I played was the Australia one. I thought it flowed really well with that one as well.
Yep, totally.
I'm pretty early into this game, so maybe I'm just missing some of the like bigger like, oh, when I did this race, like it really like popped off. But it does feel like it's hard to play this game and not think, I kind of just want like Tokyo Drift from Fast and Furious. And they're like, what if we gave you like a really beautiful landscape? And I'm like, I kind of want to just start drifting. Like, it feels like there isn't a certain like pizzazz. Like, it was funny, like playing the game, like it still is like a really well constructed game because they know how to make these racing games. They've been making them forever. But I do feel like it's missing like a little bit of some of that early set piece pizzazz. Maybe that comes later. But even like one of the races I did, like the narrative setup was, hey, like, we want you to do this race. We're testing it out to make sure it's really fun for the festival. And then I did the race, and frankly, it was a quite boring race, just like through the city streets.
Sure.
And I got to the end of it, and they were like, all right, seems like it's fun enough. And I'm like, was it? Like, was that supposed to be like interesting? Like, I enjoy driving because I like the way driving feels in this game. I love the little rewind feature. It's like very chill. But like, I haven't really been feeling like the magic as much in this one.
I think you're right overall. I do think that one of the things that they're building this time around is like, hey, we have obstacle course races. And kind of the first race in this game that was like, oh, this is interesting, is you're kind of in the docks outside Tokyo, and there's like shipment crates. And it's like a really cool small racetrack where everything's kind of moving around you. It feels like you're racing on like the Space Mountain track or something. Everything's like really tight and winding as they're moving these crates around. That's the first time I was like, okay, there's a little something there. And then not too deep in, there's kind of like a big Horizon event, which is so dopey but awesome at the same time. And it's the one they teased in the original trailers. But it's the one where you're racing a Gundam, and it's like, it is a big robot that technically is not a Gundam, but all the characters are like, oh, I love that anime.
A legally distinct Gundam.
Yes, this is just a giant mech thing, and it's from that anime that I like, and it's called Chaser Zero, I think is its name. But it is awesome. It's like as good as a spectacle can get in a racing game because it is just a huge Gundam, more or less, running next to you, and it's like skating through the woods, and trees are flying everywhere. And the part that kills me is then you're like racing along the water, and the mech jumps and then lands in the water. And there's nothing more satisfying than a big thing like running through the water next to you. It is so sweet. And then it's like swinging around Tokyo Tower and stuff. Like, it is an awesome set piece thing. And so that feels like, okay, that's elevating it, because I think you're right that like the environment's great to look at. But up until that point, I was like, I feel like I want more Japanese flavor in this. I don't know if there's worried about offending people. It's like if they're changing the UI completely to look more quote unquote Japanese, or more in the Japanese game development style, maybe they would see that as being too odd. But I'm happy every time there's some more Japanese flavor, for lack of a better term, pumped into this thing. Because
I for one will not be happy unless they put the Shenmue forklift racing in this game.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty
unless
of Forza
Shenmue
Horizon.
forklift racing's in there, it's not true.
I would not put it past them. I feel like there's so many freaking races in these games that pop up, and so many little twists and stuff. And like, it's just funny to be in a world where like we bemoan map vomit, Ubisoft, it's icons over the map. For some reason, Forza Horizon gets a pass for me, where it's like, yeah, go ahead, pop more stuff on that map. I don't care. I know that I'm just going to be hitting down and right on the navigational thing. It'll bring me to the next fun thing.
It's fun to drive there.
I guess so.
It's fun to drive in the environment they created. Like the first thing I did when they set me free is I bought a K truck, I upgraded it, and then I tried to drive my ass right to Mount Fuji.
Yeah. How'd
It
it go?
did not let me, so that better be DLC because I could not get to Mount Fuji. I was like, that's weird. That's suspicious. It's right there. Why can't I drive there? But no, you can't drive to Mount Fuji.
Oh, that's a bummer. Did either of you get to the estate yet? Which is really odd.
Oh, the one where you build it, right?
Yeah, it's really
You
weird.
deforest.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird situation because they give you this beautiful piece of land full of trees.
Right.
And then you cut them all down to build like your own custom garage, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I'm torn on it.
Yeah, you pave paradise and you build up a parking lot. And so it's like, it's been fun in the previous games where it's like, hey, you buy homes and you kind of have a new home base, which is a really fun, weird thing about the series. And they're kind of just building on that now where, it's just like an entire valley that you can build out. And it's like, May's grandparents let her inherit this, but she doesn't know what to do with it. And so
just her grandparents' ancient land that they've owned for generations and farmed through the periods. Anyways, would you like to build a parking lot?
Well, what do you want to be respectful or you want to have some damn fun, Sarah? Let's pave this place and put up some weird stuff. So it's like, hey, you can put up, weird loop-de-loops and make this thing a wacky course or just put buildings out there. But like, it's a level of granularity that I was really surprised by. Of like, you can individually move so many things, and it's basically the editing tools now for building out this entire area. But the weird thing for Forza Horizon is that it's a different loading screen. So as you're like driving this area, it'll just cut to a loading screen of you driving on the road, which is weird for the series that's been so focused on kind of the seamless open world stuff. So it's kind of jarring and abrupt, but it's a fun, weird idea, I guess, to
It's probably to keep you from
out.
like putting too many things and then lagging the actual world out.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, just for a tech reason, they had to divide it out into its own thing and whatnot. But I'm having a great time. It's not revolutionary. The new features aren't going to blow you away, but it's like, hey, if you like the Forza Horizon formula, and it seems like based on sales, a lot of people do, it's like, yeah, you will have a good time going through Japan here. If I had to be so bold as to guess everybody's feelings on this thing here. So it's just Steam and Xbox right now. They're making a PS5 version that's coming later in the year. Apparently Forza Horizon 5, which they ported to PS5, it was just last year. Wasn't that long ago? But they announced that it sold 5 million copies, which is wild that fan base was that eager to play it on PS5. And so I think this game will do well when it eventually comes to PS5 as well. But yeah, not my favorite one so far, but I'm enjoying it. And it's just like, it is popcorn gaming at its best.
I think it's my favorite car so far, but that's because I like Japanese cars. So like, if you're a Japanese car fan, this is like for you.
Yeah, I think that's right. Hey, some place just as good as Japan, Sarah Podzorski?
Is it patreon.com? Is this an ad?
Why would you think it's Patreon.com?
Is it MinnMax's Patreon page?
No, think of some places. I pull up this ad B-roll, of course. Some place that's as good as Japan. If you had to go to a location and maybe look through a kaleidoscope.
Is it Iowa?
You better believe it's Pocahontas County, Iowa, everybody.
It's Iowa!
The one with the things you look through. I don't know.
The kaleidoscopes, that's right.
The kaleidoscope.
This is not an ARG. This is a real ad, thanks to the fine folks at Pocahontas County, Iowa. They're asking you, like, hey, do you want to take a slower-paced vacation this summer but still have a good amount of options for food, entertainment, etc.? Consider Pocahontas County, Iowa. I was just talking to one Haley DeBoom, who we were talking about last week on the podcast, and she's like, I'm going to be driving in the middle of the country this summer. I think I'm actually going to go to Pocahontas County, Iowa, because it does sound fun and delightful and just for a small town vibe. So they say, come explore the Kaleidoscope Trail in Pocahontas County, Iowa. As part of the state's tourism initiative to, quote, take some time discovering what Iowa has to offer, our kaleidoscopes offer a way to enjoy an affordable and fun vacation with your family, friends, or even independently. Each kaleidoscope is truly unique and located in a public park next to a great recreational spot, such as a swimming pool, golf course, pickleball court, campground. You can make Pocahontas County a day stop on a Midwest road trip this summer as a great location to eat, shop, play, or stay. Visit discoverpoco.com to start planning your trip. That's discoverpoco.com, everybody. Link in the description if you want to check it out. Janet, if you had to guess how many public swimming pools are in Pocahontas County, Iowa, what would you guess?
12.
1.
3 fine
Whoa.
pools. How many golf courses, Sarah?
1.
4. Not too shabby, eh?
Wow.
And how
They
many?
got it all.
They got it all. Kaleidoscopes, they got 11. Restaurants, 15. I dare you to eat at every
The
restaurant.
options are endless.
It truly is the place to be. Check it out. Link in the description, everybody. Thanks to Pocahontas County, Iowa for giving us our best read ever. All right, Sarah, we loved having you here. Jeffem and Kyle are going to jump on in. You have a wonderful trip to Japan.
Thank you.
You feeling anxious, excited? It's a lot of prep.
Every time you ask, I get a little more anxious. I think once I'm there, it'll be cool, but the idea of a 12-hour flight is not cool.
Are you leaving tonight at the time of this recording?
No, tomorrow morning.
Okay. Are you packed yet?
I have everything out, and now I'm going to put it in my suitcase. Literally right after this, I'm going to go put it in the suitcase.
Hell nice. Yeah. All right. Have fun. Look forward to seeing the video eventually, but just everybody's time frame. It probably won't be for several weeks here, so don't get too eager. But we'll be sharing. I mean, these are...
Chop, chop, edit boy.
Because I asked you.
The people want to see.
It'll be coming as soon as it can. All right. Have fun, Sarah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Clap out, dude. Jeff Marchiafava, welcome to the show. Oh, my arm's tired.
Great to be here.
Kyle Hilliard as well.
Whoa.
Welcome, everybody. This is when the show shifts into a whole new gear, baby. We're talking Mina the Hollower from Yacht Club Games. This is not like the big review discussion. This is technically a preview discussion. You can really hear the difference because the game isn't out until May 29th, but we've been playing it and can talk about kind of the opening impressions, all that stuff. I think all of us have played couple hours. That's kind of the rough window or where we're at overall for Mina the Hollower. Did the release of this game sneak up on anybody else? Because I saw so many YouTube comments after we posted the rapid fire of people being like, wait, the next game from the creators of Shovel Knight is coming out on the 29th in a couple of weeks? What is going on? You know, it's weird.
Well, it hasn't snuck up on me, maybe because I've been following it pretty closely because I like Shovel Knight and Yacht Club, and it's like basically
a real fan.
That's right.
The real fans knew is what Kyle was saying.
But primarily it's because I think they've even said as much as like, yeah, you know, Nintendo had the sort of Mario Zelda split, you know, in their sort of development processes. Like, this is what we're doing. Shovel Knight's kind of our Mario. This is our Zelda, you know? Yeah. And so like, I've been excited for it because yeah, like Shovel Knight's really good. It's like one of the best like throwback pixelated like platformers. And so it's been delayed a couple times. I thought it was coming out sooner. I'm also like reviewing it at Game Informer, so maybe that also like I got to keep an eye on it to let me know when I will be getting it soon. So maybe that's all those asterisks, but I've been excited for it. So
yeah, it just feels like it's been in development for 6 years, and it was supposed to come out on October 31st. I remember thinking like, all right, the Halloween game release, okay, and then it was delayed past that. I was like, it comes when it comes, and it really wasn't until like prepping for that rapid fire interview that we posted up on our YouTube channel. If you're not check that out, where it's like, oh, this is going to be a big thing. Oh, I don't think I was like fully bracing on several fronts. The idea of them being like, it's 20 to 30 hours. And, you know, not to tell tales out of school, but like, you know, as we're wrapping up that rapid fire, you know, Alec Faulkner, one of the game designers, he's like, yeah, like this is our attempt to make a better game than Link to the Past. Like this is our full Link to the Past example. It's like, oh, okay, now I'm getting excited about it.
Hold on. He said Link to the Past?
He said Link to the Past specifically. I mean, Link's Awakening visually, you know, but I think like scope and breadth and just kind of complexity of design, I think Link to the Past is the example, and it's even going above that, I think, for the reference points in there. But then it's like, it's so easy to then get excited about it, thinking about like, you know, Yacht Club, Shovel Knight, some of the best in the biz, so to speak, spending 6 years taking a huge swing at we're trying to make a game that's better than Link to the Past. Like that is inherently exciting. Cool. Jeff, my point to you, just because Link to the Past is your favorite game of all time, debatably, I guess Baby Steps has toppled it. But like, how are you feeling with Mina the Hollower so far?
Yeah, there have been times when I've been playing it where I've had to stop and think to myself, do I hate this game?
Wow.
Interesting.
And the answer is no. What
kind of taste is that?
I actually like a lot of things that are going on, but so I like the world building, I like the lore, I like a lot of the exploration is cool. It seems like it has some really deep like progression that I'm very excited to delve into more. It's the combat that is killing me. This game is super hard and in a frustrating kind of NES kind of way, and that is the part that I'm grappling with. and I kind of like I got over a little bit of a hump last night while I was playing it, and was like, okay, I've gotten a couple more upgrades. I've gotten past some stuff that was kind of like really pissing me off, and now I'm, like being charmed again by the world and stuff. But like it is a hard game in a way that I feel like you can make a hard Mario and it's fine. Like you're not going to get that frustrated at a hard kind of 2D platformer. This, like, the combat is just, you get your ass kicked by normal guys. It's the kind of thing where it's like, oh no, he got too close to me and now he's on top of me and that's doing damage to me because anything that you touch is going to hurt you. Oh, this guy knocked me off a platform, so I took damage from him. Now I'm also taking fall damage and I'm warping back. Like the combat is going to take time to get used to and to get better as you kind of upgrade yourself as you're going on. And it's kind of combat, at least specifically, it is a rough start, or at least it has been for me.
What weapon are you using, Jeff? Because you get a choice of 3 at the start.
Yeah, I picked the mace because it was the most distance, like the ball and mace, and I don't know.
What did everyone pick?
I chose the whip because that's what the designer said was his favorite. Yeah,
I went with the dual blades because that's like what I just prefer when it comes to action games. If that's a choice, like emphasis on doing more attacks and less blocking and stuff like that, I'm always going to go in that direction.
Okay,
I mean,
I
Kyle.
I'm also talking about the whip, right? But it's a mace.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's got, I guess, yeah.
There's a hammer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The Night Star, technically.
like
In my head, it was a
It
whip. I didn't even try any of the other weapons. I'm like, I want the one that's like a whip, because to your point, Jeff, and I'm not as far in as you, so maybe I'll start to feel more of like the pain of the challenge as I get further in. But I quite like the degree of challenge. I get what you mean by the like the staggered L's can be really annoying in any game where it's like, oh, you got hit by this thing, and then because of how you position, you hit the flame, and then like that usually doesn't really feel good. But I do like the kind of old school like bit of crunch that this game has. Like I grew up loving Castlevania, a game that I feel like taught me to hit an enemy, walk away, hit an enemy, walk away. So like this feels very much like my bread and butter in that way. And I'm really enjoying I'm early in, so I don't know how far this goes, but like the light element of puzzle platforming they sometimes introduce in some of like the optional rooms that actually turn out not to be optional rooms because you need the key in there, which I'm like, oh, now I feel less smart for going in here. But I've really been liking that, and I really hate to say this because it sounds highly obnoxious of me. And Jeff, I know you also played Silksong, so like you have played that game. Having beaten Silksong, and it's just through Act 2, I haven't done Act 3. I fear that I'm also gotten better at games. I'm kind of ready for like the IBS. Yeah, because I think it's such an obnoxious take to be like, oh, I have like this elevated skill, now that I've played this game. But honestly, like the way that I feel like I've just gained a little bit more patience and appreciation for like the way enemies respond to like my movement set, and then like how the movement set is meant to like kind of keep me on my toes. And I love the option that you have of like hollowing, where you burrow under and can kind of maneuver around as a way to like almost like another take on the dodge. Like I'm a big, y'all know I don't parry. I'm never going to parry. F pairing, I don't want to do it. But I'm a very avoidant fighter and cautious fighter. And I feel like there's a good amount of opportunities to do that in Mina the Hollower. But again, I am a little bit earlier than you, Jeff. So maybe it's going to start to really kick my ass in a bit. But I do like that. The only thing I don't really like with difficulty is they sort of have a like you lose your bone structure. I just feel like we don't all need to be soulsy. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like that aspect of it.
It's interesting because it is like the Dark Souls structure, but then your healing is an interesting twist on it where you take damage, your damage goes down. You have to then hit enemies to fill your health vial back up as yellow.
Yes.
And then that's how much using a potion will actually heal.
Right.
And so like theoretically, once you have a giant health bar, even if they whittle you down, you can fill the entire thing up if you're really good at dodging attacks and getting enough in to fill it with one entire thing. What seems insane is that when you fight a boss, like he's going to take you down to a sliver in like 1 or 2 hits, and then you can't heal unless you get enough hits in order to fill it back up. So you're just kind of sitting there living on a little sliver of life, and then if you die, then you lose your orb, and then you're risking your bones from that point on. Like I lost a bunch of bones early on, which happens in every Dark Souls game, but that was definitely part of the frustration of like, oh my god, like I can't even heal. This is harder than Dark Souls in terms of like the healing functionality, at least.
They also limit how many vials you like have, which I get, also isn't necessarily new. It's very Soulsy, but it's like I wish you just kind of had unlimited vials, because I really enjoy when games put forth if you can attack your way into healing. Like that's something that I think really works well for my specific playstyle, because I am often very conservative. So having an incentive to be more aggressive and claw my way back, like I really like that. And I think it caters towards like a wider range of like player skill. But the fact that like, okay, you kind of have, at the beginning, I don't know, 3 or 4 heals at all that you can do. So to your point, Jeff, it's like if you're like healing halfway through, and then you kind of can end up like running out, which you do get them refilled at like your little safe spots, which are like they come up fairly often.
There's little holes you jump into all the time. Yeah.
But it is kind of like, oh, I ran out and I kind of messed this up a little bit, especially when you're first like getting to know the game.
Yeah, and it does create like an interesting risk reward where it's like, I can heal up to 3/4 now, which is wasting some, but if I go further and I get hit by another enemy, all of a sudden I'm going to be way down and have to try and build that back up. So I like the decisions of that. The saving grace for me, and what has kind of turned me around so far, as much as I have, is like all of the level, world design is very shortcut oriented. Like you are unlocking shortcuts everywhere. So you will go through 1 or 2 hard screens, and then you'll unlock a shortcut that like lets you skip past a ton of it. And like, and the sheer amount of just secrets everywhere is also makes exploration really cool. And so those are the things that I'm enjoying the most, and I'm kind of still grappling with the combat.
Yes, absolutely. I think like the density of the game overall is a huge takeaway. Like, my first impression is like the hollowing is a lot cooler than I expected. I was like, okay, I can dig underground. I didn't expect to have like to go so fast, and then to have like that momentum launching you out. Where you talk about like the puzzle platforming, like, okay, you got to burrow into this thing, and then you're launching out to get across the chasm. Like, okay, for something that is so much in the Game Boy aesthetic, I didn't expect that to like feel so satisfying, because all the love in the world of the Game Boy, but very few things on the Game Boy felt satisfying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just mechanically. Yeah. And so that really surprised me. The other big surprise is like no map. There's like a world area map, but then the rest of it, like their angle is just like, well, we're trying to make things so iconic that it becomes clear where you are. And so it's not like a matter of looking frame by frame at a map.
I mean, I think you can at some point, right? I mean, I read through the whole instruction manual, which is cool. Like it's a nice instruction manual built, and they have references to like maps that you get later.
Okay.
So I think there might be something, but I'm not certain.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The early sections, at least, there isn't.
Studious.
Yeah.
Reading through the manual. I opened it. I'm like, it's cool. This is in here, and I closed it immediately.
I was so confused by the health and the vials. Like it took me a while to understand, and that's why I like dug into there and it's like, well, I'm here. I might as well read everything basically, except for the plot stuff. I didn't really care about that, but I mean, the thing, we've talked about it a lot. I'm not really adding more to this conversation, but the thing that did surprise me the most is I went in here like, okay, Link's Awakening, cool, like a throwback to that, but it definitely feels way more specifically, more so than like Elden Ring or something like that. It feels like Dark Souls.
Yes.
Like the emotions that I am feeling are the ones that I have when I play Dark Souls, where you have to push your way through an area and like maybe you die a lot, and then maybe you do a couple runs where you just skip people, because it's like, it's not worth me fighting all these people. And like, I make it by the skin of my teeth, and then I move into this room and it's like, oh my God, there's a hole there where I can go save and I can get my vials refilled. Like that is the emotion of playing Dark Souls. And that was not what I expected going into Mina. I expected to be doing more like puzzle solving and stuff like that, which is there obviously. But like if at this point, which we're all early, like the ratio of like Dark Souls versus Zelda inspiration is like 70-30 to me, which is like much higher than I expected. I really didn't go into this like expecting a 2D Dark Souls. That's very satisfying so far.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And even like the rapid fire, he calls it out of like, yes, Link's Awakening, but really it's a Souls-like game, you know?
Yeah,
But it's cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Alphamander in the comments pointed out the accessibility.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yes,
is insane.
Yes.
They just have I can't remember if it's called mods or if it's just options or something like that. But they have a massive list of different things that you can toggle on and off to make the game easier or make it harder. And
Yes.
I've never seen so many things. I haven't done it to the game's credit of hooking me. I haven't made anything easier yet. I certainly thought about it, but I was like, no, I should give it some more tries. But like any aspect that you're struggling with, you can pretty much pinpoint out and be like, I don't want to take fall damage anymore. And you can turn that off. I want enemies to do half damage. I want them to do more damage. Like I don't want to lose any bones when I die.
Yep.
There are so many things, and that's so awesome to see that you can just kind of set up a custom run however you want.
And it's immediate. And I felt bad like when there's like your initial complaint to be like, just go make it easier for yourself. But honestly, that was my thing as well. As I was getting my ass kicked, and then I just by chance opened that menu and was like, wait a minute, what? And so I was like,
just to test it out for the pod, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like just for
absolutely. I'll dial it right back in. But it was like,
just to be thorough, you know?
I didn't want to poke around the corners. But it's like, hey, boss checkpoints. When you die from a boss, start up right where the boss is. I'm like, yeah, of course I want to turn that on. It's just an easy on-off switch. And I was like, 75% damage from enemies. Why not? I'm bad at these games. Let me get more comfortable with the combat. And it's like just being able to dial all that stuff in. I'm sure people will say, baby game, don't give us that option. But it's awesome.
Earn 10 times the amount of bones from enemies.
Right. Why not?
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's like the other reason that I had to go into the instruction booklet was to understand how bones worked. Because like some bones are permanent, some are impermanent, and you can transfer some. And like I screwed up where like I transferred a bunch of permanent bones to try to upgrade, but I was like 100 short, which I didn't realize. I just did my math wrong. And then I was right outside of a boss room, so I couldn't even like go fix. I couldn't just grab those couple hundred. Yeah, I totally screwed myself and used up a huge chunk of my permanent bones by accident.
I should probably read that because I also feel like I don't really totally get the bones thing. I think for the most part,
some are permanent, some aren't, and that's like, and you can change the permanent to like use to upgrade. And you can't go the other direction.
Is that what the slot machine thing is? Yeah, like it's like changing the temp to the permanent.
The bone stone. Yeah.
And you have our caches of souls that you can use if you're just like a couple hundred away from leveling up. It's like an inventory item that you can use. It's like it's all very Dark Souls.
You know what? I'll just be real. I feel like they were doing a little too much with that because I get that you can read it. So it's like, oh, if you just read it, you'll know. It's like, yeah, but like. I feel like they do a good job explaining every other component of the game. I do think that part was a little bit like, they're like, you'll sense it out. I'm like, all right. Sure, I'm sure if I really need to know anything.
Because I agree with you, Janet, that I was like, the fact that I had to go and,
for sure.
do research to understand it.
Yeah, I think the only reason that those of us knew it was because it has this direct relation to all the Dark Souls games. But yeah. Honestly, there have been multiple things in the game where it's like, I discovered burrowing before they told me what the hell it was.
Yeah,
and like
that's fun. Yeah.
Or that it would launch you. It seems like they want some level of discoverability to just like core mechanisms.
Yeah.
And I've come across a couple things where they're like, hey, if you press this, now you can do that. But not nearly as much as that was the reason I went into the menu of like, what else am I missing here that like they haven't told me?
Yeah. It is, I'm very happy to be playing it on Steam Deck. Since it's so like Game Boy Color inspired, I was like, I feel like the screen should even be smaller than a Steam Deck. So I went like, scaled it down to like 80%. Like I want to just get that screen as little as possible. Because like, I can't imagine.
You're so weird for that.
I don't, do you know what I'm talking about? Like it feels weird to play this game like on your huge HD TV in front of you, right? Like, does it feel like
no? It doesn't. I'm a Super Game Boy kid. I was always throwing my Game Boy games up on the TV.
Icky.
I've been playing it on my AYN Thor.
Oh, interesting.
It's that feels very Game Boy-esque.
Yeah,
I'm scared about the save functionality. We'll get more into this. The cloud. I couldn't get the cloud stuff working well enough. I'm like, I'm just gonna be vanilla and play it on my deck.
I did, Janet. I just was kind of committed. I was like, I'm playing Mina. If it runs well, I'm playing it here.
Right, and then you're like, you can't mess up my cloud save because I'm only on this device. I feel
I'm taking this thing in my pocket. That's how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful looking too. I mean, I feel like that's always low hanging fruit for like kind of any indie game that has good art direction, but genuinely, like even just from initial start, and I felt this. I previewed it at GDC prior to having the preview/review code, and it just works so well. It looks so beautiful. The music is really striking.
It's awesome.
Like I think they just really did a phenomenal job. Like so many games, especially in the indie scene, try to evoke like what we've had, you know, in our childhood or in our like younger days. And they're like, oh, it's nostalgic and it, you know, it's hard to read, but like, isn't that like kind of fun? And it's like, no, you know, a lot of times, like I think
Don't you want the screen
they try
to be
to capture
smaller and harder to see?
Yeah, they try to capture it and they kind of just fail in getting, I think, caught up and bogged down in like the limitations that we had mechanically at the time. But this really is like it feels and controls so well, but it also has like that nostalgia pull that just works really beautifully. Like immediately playing this game, it felt like a homecoming to me. I'm very taken by it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. It's like obviously people love Yacht Club. It is just that question of like Game Boy Color inspired Souls game. Like, are people going to be this hungry for a game that's in the Game Boy aesthetic? Or have people moved on? Are those unnecessary limits on, you know, the art overall? Like, it seems like the audience is going to be there in a big way, and I'm just really curious to see how it lands. Like, they're launching it on absolutely everything. May 29th is when Mina the Hollower comes out. So I think it's even on, like, last gen. If you want to play this on an Xbox One, by all means.
I think it's Mac compatible too, which I was kind of shocked by. Because I was like,
for the freaks out there, let's go, Mac gamers, let's go.
Yeah, I use a Mac primarily, and usually I will redeem my Steam codes on my Mac. I can't play it there, but it's like at least I can copy paste the code here. And so when I did that with Mina, and it was like, hey, you want to install it? I was like, really? You'll let me do that?
What a gift! What a gift! But Mina the Hollower, check it out. Curious for more feedback on the thing once it finally releases and we spend more time with it overall. Jeff, I mean, you're gonna keep going with it? Does it seem like your cup of tea, even if you're being hard against the wall?
I'm really liking it. It was just some early segments of I'm not sold on the combat, but I'm not very good at it yet. So
yeah, dial it down. Dial it any way you want it, man.
I don't know that I'll have to. Like I will if I need to, but I'm glad that I have stuck with it so far on just the way that it's tuned, and you know, I'm getting past stuff. So all the exploration stuff is just so charming that it, like the difficulty of the combat is not scaring me away. So.
Right on. Are you playing it with your new Steam controller there, Jeff Marchiafava?
I was playing it in the dumbest way possible because I connected my Steam controller to my Steam Deck, and I was sitting like 3 feet away from my Steam Deck playing it with the Steam controller.
Did you make the screen smaller though?
Yeah. Well, I moved it far. I just moved the Steam Deck farther away.
Oh, smart. Yeah, that's out of the room. Yeah. I was surprised by this. Like, it's like it feels like they just said like, "Hey, you can buy one now," and then Jeff just jumped on Slack. He's like, "I got mine." It's like, "Oh crap! All right, quick turnaround. You got it in your hands. You're ready to go."
Leo got it. Oh yeah. I like it actually arrived. I must have gotten it like right before they stopped selling it. And I did Leo's trick, which was to just keep spamming the sell button like 1,000 times on a desktop.
That was my trick that I stole from Wes LeBlanc at Game Informer. I gave that to you guys, and then I wasn't able to use it effectively.
And then you didn't do it?
No, I did it. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah, Leo said it did work for him, and then I tried it, and then it also worked for me. And then they said they were sold out immediately afterwards, and no one else got it. And then it showed up. So...
Yeah, I'm on some wait list or something because I would really like to get it. And honestly, what pushed me over the edge, I think it was like Dan Reichert at Giant Bomb, like compared it to the Dreamcast controller. I was like, what? It's just like long, weird, tall grooves. I love the way the Dreamcast controller feels.
Yeah, it is. It's thinner than I thought it was going to be. When you look at it from the front, it looks like it's going to be a big, you know, like Duke Xbox kind of thick boy. But it's actually very thin, and it feels good. It feels good so far. You know, I've only been playing Mina the Hollower with it, so it's not like the biggest test of the hardware, but
it's a Dex, you know,
triggers feel good. I like the joystick positioning, feels good so far. I'll have to play something that makes me want to scream it. Apparently, if you drop it from a high height, it makes the Wilhelm scream, and I haven't tested that out yet.
That is, you say that almost in a passing way. That is the right level of, wait, what? Controllers can be weird? Like, that is a level of weird personality to put in your controller that physically screams when you drop it. That is insane.
Yeah.
That is truly
That is
the
like
weirdest
some
thing
Nintendo.
ever.
That is like some Nintendo stuff that they've really gotten away from. Like the 3DS had so many weird little Easter eggs like that and stuff, and like weird, strange things you could do with it, and that like
How
and
quickly
the
you
Switch,
forget about Welcome Tour, the ultimate Easter egg.
Everybody
yeah, but
forgets
like
about it.
what I'm talking about is like on the 3DS specifically is the one I'm thinking of, is like they had systems in place where you could like upload music and it would like pixelate music for you and stuff and like turn it into chip tunes, and like there was like all kinds of weird little things you could do on the touch screen to like, it was just like little Easter eggs that like served no function.
Yeah.
And it's like they've gotten away with that since probably even the Wii U. I think they kind of like stopped really having weird stuff like that. I mean, like holding down, what was it, if you put the fourth controller in the fourth GameCube slot and you hold down the Z button and turn on the system, you get different sound effects, you know, like stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Like that to me feels like what the Wilhelm scream in the Steam controllers, which I love. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is a fun, absurd idea. We do have, would you like to hear, Leo's not on this episode, don't be confused and alarmed, but he did send in a voicemail if you all would like to hear it with his thoughts. Okay,
Oh my God, please.
Leo Vader, take it away.
The Steam controller, I tell you, this baby feels good in the hand. The middle body part with the touchpads doesn't get in the way at all. You forget it's there unless you need it, and then it being a built-in mouse when you're reclined on the couch, built-in mouse for the computer, that's pretty nice. The playing Hitman review is that the up on the D-pad's pretty mushy. I'll tap up on the D-pad and it'll somehow read more as left or right on the D-pad, which instead of unequipping an item will open the inventory. It's happening constantly. I have to really learn to have a feather touch at the very top of the D-pad or else it mashes a left input. Even though it feels good, it's like the reading is wrong. So maybe they'll fix that in one of their many firmware updates that I now am going to be receiving. Overall, do like it, but it is introducing some software issues that I've never had to think about before. Playing a game through Epic Game Store, it just doesn't read as a controller on your computer unless it's going through a Steam input. So I had to add the Epic Games launcher as a non-Steam game to Steam, and then when my Hitman crashed because of a mod, not because Hitman's imperfect, then it had no idea what was going on and I had to get up and get my mouse and fix things from there. Also, when you are starting a game and it says, do you want to allow this game to make changes to your computer? That's hopeless. You got to get up and get your mouse for that. So there's weird little things where it'll take you out of it, and because it's so reliant on Steam input, even though it should be working as a mouse too, it just didn't for a pop-up like that. I don't know if Steam input took it over or something. It's just now new software things to worry about because there's another layer between the controller and the game. It's got to go through Steam, which sucks. I mean, I'm so annoyed with it. Big picture in Steam Deck, there's been no cursor, but on multiple platforms, there's just no, like when I select something, it doesn't turn green. That's a new thing for the last week. Across both things, Steam just stopped having that work. So being more reliant on something I consider unreliable is a loss. But when it's working, the controller feels great, the buttons feel great, it's light but durable. Bye.
Thanks, Leo. Nice to have you here, man.
It's came in a very fancy box and it doesn't have any kind of manual. It came with the one that says like what the the different like electricity ratings are or whatever, and not what buttons to press to pair it through Bluetooth with stuff.
Sure.
So I have also been struggling with how do I actually connect this thing? It's supposed to be very easy because it comes with a little puck that you're just supposed to plug into your computer.
Puck.
And I was frantically doing that right before we went live, trying to pair it with my computer, and it just wants to stay stuck to my Steam Deck. And
weird. You would think it would just be plugging in with USB and then it would just pick it up immediately, right?
You think, but because I paired it with Bluetooth, I think it defaults to Bluetooth now to my Steam Deck, and I don't know what buttons to press to unpair it and use the other one yet. So
Gotcha.
I got to do some Googling, and once I figure it out, it'll hopefully be all right.
I've seen a lot of people obviously like run out and get it and talk about, oh, the reviews have been so good, but like what is the use case for you? I'm guessing we have 8 million controllers in our home. Like what about this makes it feel like it's maybe going to be the other controller killer, or like how is it going to incorporate into your life? Like, what's the goal there?
I think I would use it as my default for when playing Steam Deck docked onto my TV.
That's the biggie.
Or a future Steam console, a Steam box, basically, because it's so good for mouse controls. No other controller. Like, I really like those touchpads on the Steam Deck, and so having that built into a controller is great. And all of the other like hardware stuff, the magnetic analog sticks and all that stuff is like cool, and it feels good. So
yep, that's where I'm with you completely. Is like, I'm gonna get a Steam machine if the pre-orders are kinder to me.
Ever happen?
Yeah, and if they ever freaking happen, I guess. And they've said that like, oh, we're able to release this controller early just because there's no RAM in it. The Scream isn't taking up too much RAM. So with RAM prices going through the roof, we're able to get this out the door. That's why it's kind of a weird staggered launch. But like, that is my big thing, is like, I love the Steam Deck so much, and I've had kind of mixed results hooking it up to my TV, specifically with like controllers. Like, if I want to just have two Xbox controllers or whatever synced up to that Steam Deck to the TV, it's always just a mess. Like, it just never works exactly right. I'm always organized, like, okay, this is for this slot, this is for this slot. I've had a real hell of a time. So if I could just have like an easy pick up and grab and play way to play on my Steam Deck there, that's what I'm looking for. Because like, just a couple months ago, I got the 8-bit Do Ultimate 2, it's called, controller. And I'm really loving this, just for like, this is my new kind of default PC controller. And so I feel like I'm kind of set for my main PC. It's just for Steam Deck when docked that I still don't have like the ideal situation. Where are you other freaks at for back buttons? Does everybody actually use them? Does want to use them? Does anybody use them on a regular basis?
Somewhat. I have what is it called? The DualSense Edge.
Yeah. Like
PlayStation's like souped up controller. I got one of those. Shouts to Greg Miller. He's like, I never use mine. I said, can I have it? He said, sure. I was like, great. Wow. I just made it $150. I forgot how much this thing is. It's very expensive.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I do love having it. I hate to say that because it is very pricey. I like to, it has a thing where you can like save presets, and I'll do some for certain games. So like, frankly, since I don't play competitive, usually what I'm using it for is like putting the run on the back button has been so nice instead of like on the sticks. So the last time I used it was for Pragmata, because I was putting in really heavy consecutive hours into that game. And it is a like game where I feel like I'm gripping the controller really hard. Like, I'm shooting and I'm doing these other things that I have, and it was kind of wearing on my hands. So to make it a little bit more easy, I like put some stuff on the back buttons. So I really like it for that. Sometimes there's like hyper specific use cases. Like, I'm sure if I went into the settings, it'd be like something that I only use for Fortnite or whatever, where it's like, or there's a game where, I don't know, it's really nice to have the map like easily openable and like closable off the back button. So that's usually what I'm using it for. But I don't think I have any other controller that has the back button functionality. So I kind of only do that on PlayStation. I think does the Nintendo's Pro Controller have back buttons?
It does.
Am I hallucinating that?
No, it does.
Never used it on there. I feel like also just the kind of games Nintendo makes don't really like I feel like you're not holding down to run a lot in Nintendo's games.
Yeah. That's true.
Am I nuts?
No,
Maybe when
no.
you're on Epona or something, you're holding something down. But.
No, and I appreciate you saying "am I nuts?"
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. It's just
Thank you.
the button complexity isn't quite there even for some Nintendo stuff. Yeah, to warrant it. But
I'll use the ones on the Steam Deck sometimes just to like program like random keyboard keys if it's a more PC oriented game. But I usually don't end up using them. The one thing about these is they do feel perfectly situated, and they are real buttons.
Yeah.
And so they like the Steam Deck ones don't feel good. It feels like I have to like make an extra concerted effort to actually push them where they're positioned on the back of that. And so I usually just don't end up using them that much, but I could see using these potentially.
yeah, I think the most I've ever used it was playing that visual novel Paranormacite. Where it's like basically like, hey, turn the page, go to the next bit of dialogue. For some reason, it was just like automatically programmed. So it was just like, let me just hit this little back button trigger. You know, it's like, it just felt right for a reading game, you know? But there we go. Steam controller. More folks will be probably waiting in the future for thoughts on that. I can't wait to actually get the Steam machine and get the whole Steam system set up here, baby. System. Kyle, that reminds me of the most important system you have to keep a rolling in your house.
The dishwasher.
That's right, folks. Dishwashers. Go to dishwasher.com. No, Kyle Hill, your digestive system, by golly.
Oh, that is much more important.
You know how you all like to eat, you crave eating on a regular basis, but you just don't have any time of the day. Jeff,
Every like 4 or 5 hours.
it really comes up a lot. But Jeff, you know that feeling with 2 kiddos in the house where it's like, what? When am I supposed to prepare food and eat food? How is this supposed to be possible?
I hide at 5 o'clock every night.
Yeah.
I go sit in the closet and hope my wife doesn't find me.
Well, story of our lives. But hey, do we have a fix for you? It's called Factor. They're here to help everybody. What if you had delicious meals delivered right to your door and you say, well, what, I still have to cook them? Where am I going to find that time? Au contraire, my dear friend. Au gratin. What's that potato thing called? Is that how you pronounce that?
That's it, yeah.
Okay. My dear friend. 2 minutes in the microwave with these Factor meals. Factor has meals built around your goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein for strength and workout recovery. You can check out Factor's Muscle Pro collection. You want muscles like a pro, Jeffem? I know where you can go. Every meal is crafted with functional ingredients, lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole foods, healthy fats. Factor bans 175 ingredients, no artificial colors or sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, no refined seed oils, just nutrient-dense food. Fresh, never frozen, over 100 rotating weekly meals from all around the world, all around the globe here. Ready in 2 minutes. Factor shops, preps, cooks, delivers straight to your door. You really have no excuse. If you want easy, damn good food, Factor Meals is an option for you. 2 minutes in the microwave. You can head to factormeals.com/minmax50off and use code minmax50off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. You can see the website for more details. Check out the link in the description for more info on Factor Meals, but I truly love it whenever I have them in the fridge. It is a stress reliever and awfully darn good, these Factor meals. Just as good as Forbidden Solitaire. A new indie game came out, overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. People who love Inscription are raising an eyebrow at Forbidden Solitaire, being like, is this as clearly in the Inscription wheelhouse as I think it is? And Jeffem, is that the arena we're dealing with here?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's a solitaire game. It is.
Yes.
It is really like when you think of like mobile era solitaire. Like there was a golf themed one where it's just like patches of cards that are on top of each other, and you're just kind of playing them. Like taking them off the board in ascending and descending order, but like very specific levels for it that don't actually require a lot of thought or skill in terms of solitaire. Like that is what the levels have been so far in the first couple hours of this, where it's just but it's all 90s, FMV horror themed, and they really dive into that. Like you are at a desktop the entire game. You found a CD at like a garage sale that you messaged your sister about. So your sister is like doing research, and little IMs are popping up with like videos of all the people who have been killed by this game. Mysterious bodies have been found next to this CD-ROM. They're all like perfectly posed, and it's very ridiculous. And then all of the stuff in the game is very much 90s terrible, like early 3D, like FMV rendered cut scenes for you, like going through
seventh
this
guest kind of stuff.
Yeah, like this. Right? Yeah, like this cursed dungeon. And so like all of that theming stuff has really been working for me, and it's really cute stuff. And like to the point of those mobile solitaire games, like they are so easy to just say, okay, I'll do one more level. But in between each of those levels, you're getting more of like this horror narrative, and then like messages from your sister and all of that kind of meta stuff. And that's what's been really charming about it so much. And they've been adding like power-ups and other cards that come out that have changed it a little bit and made it a little more interesting from a gameplay perspective. But it is not a full-fledged like Inscription had a really interesting and unique deck builder built into it.
Right.
And I haven't seen anything like it's just been solid. It's been a horror themed solitaire so far, in terms of the actual gameplay.
And there is like a narrative with a conclusion, right? Because something that else is like attractive to me is like I've seen people saying like I beat Forbidden Solitaire, which is like an incentive for me, right? Like it's like I mean, as much as I love Balatro and stuff like that, it's like I'm not really looking for another sort of endless card game. I'm not really like in the mood for that. But if it's like a narrative with cool theming around a style of card game that I enjoy playing already, like I want to. I haven't downloaded, I haven't started yet, but like,
yeah,
do you get that sense that you're building towards a conclusion?
Oh yeah, yeah. There are. It is specific levels that you're going through. Each one is themed of like, okay, you found a door. Now you're going to open the trap door, and there are little lock ones that you have to unlock. But you are going through a linear set of levels, both in the game and then you can tell like there is a linearity narrative that you're working through on the outside. Like I'm getting more and more disturbing messages from my sister about all the things that she's uncovering while she's doing all the research.
Cute is a word you used just a few minutes ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very cute.
It is. Well, there's something about, even if it's like, hey, haunted software from the mid 90s, like the fact that it's like,
there's like a
cute?
charming ugliness to it.
Right.
That those kind of games had. That maybe cute's not the right word. When
it
you
is.
See, like the main header image of it is a guy with his eyes gouged out. But
yeah, but it's like even like with like kind of 3D models in the game and stuff. It's like there's a bloody torso, but it's like, but the blood just looks so chunky and like early Pixar,
very hokey.
Yeah, yeah, it makes it kind of sweet in a way. But like they really go all in on that theme in a really fun way. Even to the point of like it boots up like a fake desktop. You can click on like a couple things around there. But I was surprised just playing a bit of it, then leaving like exiting the game. And it's like, all right, do you want to exit to DOS desktop? And I'm like, oh, that's a cute way to frame it. Yeah, I do. And it's like, oh no, then that's another layer then where it just brings you to the fake desktop as if you've closed the game. And it's like, okay, now we need to find another layer of exiting this game. Like just goes deeper and deeper in a sweet way. Janet, did you get a chance to check it out too?
No, I haven't yet,
Okay.
but it'll be very funny to play this because I have actually never played Solitaire. I know
What?
the more I share, the more I don't seem like a real person. I get it. I know. I finally watched Matrix 1. You can leave me alone. Yeah. I don't know. I just never played Solitaire. Like,
Interesting.
I feel like Solitaire is the
there was
game
a
you
time
play.
where it was what we had on our school computer.
Yeah.
That was all we had.
Exactly. But it's like, I feel like Solitaire is what you play when you're just like bored. And I guess I just
Right.
never got that level of bored.
La-di-da.
Is that mean to say? Like I had other things going on.
Well,
it
also,
literally was the only game on old PCs.
Right.
When you got a PC.
Well, it was like
Chesson,
Minesweeper.
add Janet learns Solitaire to New Show Plus. It won't win, but we can put it in there.
This game will kind of
Thank
be
God
it.
Balatro explained like what the cards were because like genuinely I'm like, which one is what's the guy? I don't know.
I'm
anything about cards.
adding into my like Janet lore and the idea that you think like Uno's the greatest game ever made, where it's like maybe you just never maybe
one
Solitaire
of the greatest
like
games ever played.
I'm gonna go back and check that tape. I think you said it was better than Tetris and stuff. But it's like maybe it's just
It
you
might
gotta
be better
throw.
than Tetris.
No,
fun.
no.
You play 4 hours of Tetris and I play 4 hours of Uno with the right group of people. I feel like y'all didn't have people to play Uno with.
How dare you? We had
That's what
people.
I'm kinda getting at.
We had you attack our favorite game Tetris and you attack our friend group.
You bring
Those are
out
two.
Tetris at the lunch table. I bring out Uno at the lunch table. Who's getting the bigger pop? It's going to be me. It's for the people.
I mean,
And I love
do have
Tetris.
a
That's
TV?
also one of my favorite games, next to Miss Pac-Man.
I think competitive Tetris, you're gonna have bigger swings.
But also, just to go back to the Solitaire thing, one of the other reasons I never played Solitaire is I did not grow up doing like gaming on the PC. Like even at school,
right?
like,
That's
I was
the make
not,
or break.
Yeah, like it's like I was a console kid. Like we didn't get a PC until like pretty late, and even then, it's like that thing couldn't. We wouldn't think to put a video game on that. What is it? A GameCube? No.
Well,
So that's
my
where the
version of that was
anti-PC comes from.
like I was a console kid through and through, and then I had the PC that couldn't run any games except for Solitaire. Like so, I was like, well, if I'm gonna play a
it was
game on
on
the
there,
computer,
yeah.
it's gonna be.
So you're like,
Solitaire,
check this stuff out, and then y'all were
Yeah.
dragging the cards. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't.
And
It didn't.
any
It didn't light me
public
up.
computer that you couldn't install a game on, you could at least have Solitaire on.
Yeah,
It'd be just fine. Chips Quest. Is that what that game was called too? Trying to think.
Chex?
Not Chex Quest. Chips Challenge. Was it Chips Challenge?
Oh my god.
Going
That's
around
making me
getting
sound
the
like
keys?
I'm 1
Yes.
years old. No, I also never played Minesweeper. I didn't play Minesweeper.
That one, maybe there's a lot of defenders out there. I feel like my entire childhood trying to get into Minesweeper, and I like the sunglasses on the sun. And other than that,
I like the idea of you as a kid being like, this game seems important. Let me try to get into it.
it's like it's on every computer. It must be super important, and it just never clicked.
That's
with
so
me.
funny.
must be amazing. Yeah.
But
It was Chips Challenge.
yeah, you know
Hanson.
what? You know what, Jeff?
And it's free on Steam.
Free?
all 144 challenging puzzles. Yeah, I mean, it must be abandonware or something.
All right, I'm going to write that down for Neutral Plus next week. Just
Although
playing all this stuff.
Add to library.
There's a Chips Challenge 2, and that's $4.99. So
Okay, nickel and diamond. I
Look,
got
Chips
it.
Challenge. I'm sorry, this is something you guys are excited to play? This looks
Yes.
a little, maybe I
is
had to
this
be
the
there.
Say, Janet, just
one?
say it.
Looks a little dusty.
Well, of course,
yeah,
it's
I don't know.
it's the
It doesn't look like
definition of
anything.
dust, Janet. Of course, but it's like, hey, I get to walk around an environment on this PC. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You guys know it's 2026, right? Like, we don't have to doing any of this.
Let us live a little in the past. That's what Forbidden Solitaire is all about. But yeah, Kyle, it's like how long to beat has Forbidden Solitaire? Around 5 hours or something for your little
Oh,
self-contained
perfect.
story.
Yeah,
So
I need
that
to
is
I need to spend some time with it.
that is the headline. It's like I was scared of it.
Maybe I
at
can get it on
first.
my Thor. Get it going on the Thor, maybe.
Fancy man. But like, yeah, I was scared of it too. I was like, is this going to be some deck building thing that Jeff was really going to like? I don't know. And then I had the same reaction as Jeff. I was like, oh, it's like Solitaire. And you're going like head to head against people. But like, okay, it's kind of refreshing to like keep it as a more self-contained thing with this larger meta narrative that's spinning out of control. Naturally, of course, as all good things do. Let's see, Janet, do you know how this whole thing operates?
No, but I think I'm about to find out.
I will tell you, my friend. It is Patreon, patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. Go there, find the tier that is right for you. Find a tier, unlock a benefit. We'd greatly appreciate it if you wanted to help support independent games media here. And special shout out to some of our biggest supporters, people like I Am 8-Bit. They want everybody to know about Scott Pilgrim EX. They have the exclusive physical edition of Scott Pilgrim EX on PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch 2. And of course, they have the vinyl soundtrack to Scott Pilgrim EX. It's expected to ship in August of 2026 this year, but you can pre-order all that stuff at iMapit's wonderful online store. Of course, the soundtrack is from Anamanaguchi, a favorite of many of ours here, so you can jump in there. They have a tricolor variant as well for the vinyl soundtrack there, so check that out. The game comes with an exclusive fold-out double-sided poster featuring the cast of the game as well, if you want to check that out. But you can go to the wonderful online store. You'll find something delightful. If you're a dorky person, you will love something in iMapit's wonderful online store, I promise. And you can use the promo code Strawberry Fields, no space, Strawberry Fields, for 10% off of everything under $100, not including pre-orders. But jump on in there, help support iam8bit because they support the MinnMax community in a big way by shipping a prize each and every week. This is one of those weeks where they announce the prize for whoever has best question of the week prize. And people came out of the frickin' woodwork. We had 171 questions submitted for this podcast. And people are excited to ask us things, no doubt. But I think primarily it was because the prize is the Hades vinyl soundtrack.
Yeah.
One of the greatest of all time. Thanks to iam8bit. You can buy it in their wonderful online store. Please keep them around. Use that promo code Strawberry Fields because they ship out amazing prizes like this to the MinnMax community. So look alive, Jeffem. This is a goodie and a biggie. Land Sea Lion, very good name. They say, have you ever used a game sound or music as a ringtone notification sound? I wake up to Dire Dire Docks and I get the awoo from the Fleas and Silk song when I get a message.
That's cute.
That's cute.
Good.
Me looking up Dire Dire Docks to remind myself what they're waking up to. I would say I know that song, but
That'd be good. Yeah, that's a good wake up song. I had the Metal Gear sound effect for a long time.
Classic.
As my text message alert,
Got it.
pre-smartphone. And then like
Kyle, that was
because-
literally what I was gonna say. Same.
Yeah, and then my mom inherited that phone from me and started using it, and so she just had the Metal Gear like sound for her text messages and didn't know what it was, and apparently someone was like, "Oh, Metal Gear!" one time to her, and she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what this is."
Please leave me alone, sir. Mace. It was a default, I feel like. I don't know why. Was it just like easier to upload your own custom stuff in the past? I feel like once I got my iPhone in like 2010, I was like, nothing custom anymore. But back in the day, it was like exciting. So like felt like you're hacking into the whole thing, you know?
Why don't
That was-
do you guys just keep your phone on silent?
Yeah, I have no
never-
idea what my ringtone
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah.
I mostly am on
mine-
silent. Sometimes I will go on sound, or I did the thing where I have like a few people that can bypass the silence with like a call, like emergency, like contact calls that like can go through, and I'll pick like custom tones for that. I've been wanting to go into the sounds. They still sell like ringtones on the iTunes store, which is like weird. You can also just set like a song from like your Apple Music or whatever. Also, back to the Didox thing. It's good because it's like not that loud, but it's kind of a sleepy song.
It is.
I'm like, is this a song I'm thinking of? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of. I feel like that's a go to sleep song, not a wake up song.
Mine's lame, but we were talking. Janet, you were like, oh, you can actually buy ringtones. I bought Tom Jones's "What's New Pussycat" as a ringtone recently.
What?
Because what we do, no, guys, this makes total sense, and you'll understand. At
Is it John Mulaney thing, or?
At 9 p.m. every night, the song "What's New Pussycat" plays to alert all the animals in the house that it's time to get their treats and to eat their wet food and stuff like that. So all the animals in the house are now trained to when that song starts, "What's New Pussycat?" They all run into the kitchen. They're very excited to the point where I can actually sing it and it will get them. But the reason I bought the ringtone was because we were using Spotify to play it. But because we were doing that, the year-end roundup, we're like, you freaking love Tom Jones. You listen to this song every day. So I was like, I will spend like, $2 or whatever so I can use it
to not
as an
love
alarm.
Tom Jones.
Yeah,
That's
and it was
so
my
funny.
wife's account, to be clear. Like, so it was all like K-pop and like and rap, and then it would be like, and also you love Tom Jones for some reason. And she was like, I don't want to live this life anymore. Spotify Wrapped.
That's
Did
so
Spotify
funny.
just call the cops at that point? It was like this person.
Doesn't it, it's very charming and sweet, but also there's a part of it where it's like, I think you'd lose your mind if you listen to whoa, whoa, whoa every day. What are you doing?
Doing it for a while now.
That's
It's not like I sit there and listen to the whole 3-minute song. It's basically the equivalent of an alarm.
Sure.
It's like, oh, let me get up. I got to go feed the cats.
Oh my God.
But also, Kyle, you do know about that John Mulaney bit about the What's New Pussycat at the restaurant, right?
Oh, where they just keep playing it over and over and over?
Is that why you picked that? Because that's the first place my mind went when you said I play What's New
No, I
Pussycat
just
every
wanted
day.
a fun song about cats. And I do like Tom Jones.
Sure. Yeah, we all
But you
like
love Tom Jones, and you want to make sure Spotify knows that.
Weird. Yeah, for me, it was like the definitely pre-smartphone era. And it was, I woke up every day to Ocarina of Time, the Hyrule Field. So it's like the morning in Hyrule Field, like, so like that still triggers me in a way. And then it was, of course, Kuru Kuru Kurin on the Game Boy Advance, the challenge music is something that I listened to for hours. And I remember thinking like, I never get sick of this song. This is great. And so that was my ringtone for all of college, was like that stupid challenge music that I understand is a very specific thing. But look it up, folks. It's a good Nintendo jam.
I had Mario coins for text messages.
Oh, that's good.
Pre-smartphone.
That's cute.
Yeah. Good and punchy.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I just would use regular music personally.
Okay. Regular music. Look at that.
Remember when like for Xbox you could rip your own soundtracks and put soundtracks in all the games that was like the coolest thing ever, and then that also we just like all lost
You
interest.
can still do that if you just turn down the OST and put on your own music. But again, when I do it, everyone gets mad.
I had Radiohead's "Hail to the Thief" playing exclusively when I played Crackdown. Like I got rid of the Crackdown soundtrack and listened to "Hail to the Thief."
I love Kyle. Like we're cut from the same cloth because I love having those weird connections where like I associate Crash Team Racing on the GameCube with Jay-Z's Blueprint 2 because like that's all I was listening to, and like God, what a vibe.
Fancygram writes in, they say, with Star Fox being announced as a Nintendo 64 Star Fox remake, doesn't it seem strange that there is an Ocarina of Time remake seemingly on the horizon as well? Why isn't there more love for the GameCube remakes? Especially for those people like myself who jumped ship to PS2 in the 6th gen. They're onto something.
Remakes?
They're saying that they should remake more GameCube games. And I'm like, well, I mean, Luigi's Mansion got that port to 3DS, and then I was like, Kirby Air Riders is basically a remake, an enhanced remake of that original game. I feel like GameCube people.
Wind Waker HD, yeah.
That was like a decade ago.
Please
so
don't bring
you're
that
doing
up.
fine.
I want to have a good day today.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it is weird just to have like, I guess, a 1-2 punch. In theory, if this Ocarina of Time remake rumor is true, but now that Star Fox is true, it seems like, okay, well, this was a bundled package and we got one of them now. So it does feel like 64's eaten well.
There's that line between the 64 and the GameCube, right? Like that was the last big massive graphical jump, right? Where like I feel like GameCube games don't look too bad, you know? Where N64 games are looking very boxy, you know what I mean? So like maybe that has something to do with it.
I think so. Kyle, how have you been sitting with the Star Fox designs? We did that reaction stream last week. I included it at the top of the podcast a little bit, so it's a little bit clumsy. Sorry, everybody, for a mess. But your initial reaction upon seeing the most realistic Star Fox you've ever seen in your life was I love him and I want some more of him, which was a bold, positive take.
I mean, I don't think we recorded it, so you might be exaggerating. There's no way to know. I think you were vomiting,
right?
And Nick was like having a heart attack, so he didn't know what to think yet. And I was kind of like, I like these.
I think I do no wrong. Yeah,
the further away we get from it, the more I'm into it, the more I've seen of it. But that first shot of Fox is pretty rough. He just looks kind of like scrunched up and weird, but like I do want them to kind of look animalistic, you know, like I do like it.
It's such a funny idea. I'm warming up more than first reaction. First reaction was sheer horror, and specifically it's like seeing the key art, and they added on Nintendo Music, and I think you sent me that, Kyle, like the tracks on Nintendo Music. And it's like seeing it in key art, I was like, I kind of get it, I kind of like it, like especially I think Peppy and Slippy, I'm like, I'm on board for them. But there's something about still seeing like in-game Fox or Falco where I was like, gosh, it's odd. But I am adjusting to it. It's not, I don't like it, but I still, and it, of course the internet is screaming. It's very good at that. And when you're at the center of a little screaming
You'll play
maelstrom,
the game and you won't have to take, whatever anti-nausea medicine.
I don't think I will. I don't think I will.
The game?
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to for sure play through the game. But
the game's like 2 hours. Like, why wouldn't?
Although I think, Kyle, the thing that I'm getting more excited about.
I just never played the original, so I think I'm just going to skip.
Oh, sure.
Well, this is the time to jump in, right?
Allowed.
But like, I think the thing that's interesting is, yeah, Janet, I think so.
I feel like, and maybe maybe the fan base is just more polite, which honestly is kind of refreshing because so many fan bases that aren't catered to are just spend like every like direct like shouting and screaming and like being kind of obnoxious. So maybe it's just like restraint on the fan base's part. But I kind of got the sense that Star Fox was like, you either kind of already rocked with him or you don't. Like, I don't really feel like, I don't get the sense from the fan base that I'm missing much by skipping out.
Sure.
But maybe I'm misrepresenting or misinterpreting.
There's like, we talked about GoldenEye a couple years ago, I remember, and me and Jenny being like, why would I engage with this? And my response was like, yeah, no, I get it. Like, there's no reason for you to, like, you don't have nostalgia for GoldenEye. You're good.
And I played GoldenEye. And I played it in
Yeah.
college, even though I'm not the age that you would be playing it in college, but we just felt like at any age you can play GoldenEye in college if
It was
already
like a
exists.
bit, yeah. But the thing about Star Fox that I think like levels it up above something like GoldenEye is like it still feels really good. And it's not long, and it is rewarding to play. The levels are short and they're fun. It's arcadey, but there is like a plot that's kind of fun to follow and meet characters, and it moves so fast that it's like it is like I think I would recommend it as a modern game. Is like, yeah, like you could go back to this and still have a good time. Where something like GoldenEye I think is harder to go back to.
Yeah, but I think the thing that I'm kind of warming up to more and more and see the potential of is like, yeah, we're adding because it's a shorter game. Doesn't seem like they're adding that we know of so far, like a bunch of new levels or vehicles or anything like that, really, even new planets, period. But the idea of them just being like, we're adding a bunch of cutscenes with like these realistic renders of these characters. I'm like, that idea of just seeing like Fox and Falco like playing chess on the ships, like that's kind of cool. Like it's almost more exciting to me if it's like, hey, here's a YouTube cut of like 40 minutes of Star Fox animations. I think I'd be more into that than the idea of like, we're remaking Star Fox 64. It's like, just that alone, it's weird to be like this. If there's like charming little moments in those cutscenes, like that's almost mission accomplished for me. But here's a couple things that I want to get off my chest. And I promise I'm not going to get passionate about it and give in to what the internet wants. But like the amount of screaming that people have done at me saying, it's the Super Nintendo box art, you idiot. They're puppets, you idiot. Everyone can feel the way they want to feel, but it's like, these are not puppet designs. Just because the fur looks realistic, and I guess puppet fur looks more realistic, like it just seems night and day. Like if they're going for puppet designs, they would have gone for puppet designs. These are not puppet designs. It's just fur.
These are not puppets.
Like, it's so weird that seems to be a take from so many people out there. But also, a couple things. I'm only a little pent up about Star Fox, but like excited Nintendo's bringing it back. God bless Star Fox. Long may it reign. Point number 2, subset B, it's okay to have an ounce of self-esteem and want something more. The idea of like,
wow,
Star Fox 64 is getting another remake, and it seems like a pretty faithful remake overall here. Like, just a couple weeks ago on the podcast, we talked about all the things you could do with Star Fox, and this is like lowest common denominator option. And I understand it's worth celebrating that these franchises are not left in the past, but like lift your head up a little bit. Like you should want more than a remake of Star Fox 64
stand
again.
up, girl. Come on.
True. Like, come on, Nintendo fans. Like, I understand being excited about it because Star Fox is back, but like, they could have gone in 1,000 directions and they really picked the most boring possible one at this point. And
I know, but that's the Nintendo culture, though. You know what I mean?
But people are now just tricking themselves and be like, oh, this is good. This is what I want. This is what it's like. This is what you want? Like, you understand you can do 1,000 things with a game involving spaceships. Like, what are we doing? This is so bare bones.
You're like the prisoner, like the prison door just kind of like they forgot to lock it and it opened and you took 2 steps out and then you looked and like none of the other prisoners left.
Yes.
And you're like, come on guys, it's open. We can have
So
our
it's Plato's
freedom.
allegory
It's
of
right
the
here."
cave. I see. It all comes back to Plato's allegory of the cave in this podcast.
I don't know. You know what? I hope people enjoy it, Kyle. I hope you're happy with your new renders of Star
Yeah,
Fox.
Kyle, what the hell?
You absolute
I was the
monster.
one that pitched the specific Star Fox game I wanted when
I
we were
know,
on that episode.
right? And it's all right. Look, I don't need No Man's Sky, but I just would like something a little more ambitious.
Yeah. This
than Star Fox
This is
64.
not what I like. If like you're saying, like if we had chosen the direction of Star Fox, this would not have been it. I would not have said please remake Star Fox 64.
I don't think anybody
I will play
would.
it, and I think it looks fun and like, but like I'm not. It's not what I want from Star Fox. No.
But hey, day one play. We're looking forward to it. It's the best. Don't yell at me. How do you min-max? They say. What's the biggest? Never mind. I can't talk anymore. What's the biggest series that has never had any multiplayer? The biggest could be either longest running, most popular, or some combination thereof. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to pull this person's name. I'll try and dig through and find that right now. I love this question. It's surprisingly sneaky. The biggest gaming series that has never dabbled in multiplayer.
I
You do
thumbed up
multiplayer
this
in
one
Mega
and I
Man?
don't have an answer
Well,
for it.
I guess like the spin-offs though, right? Of Mega Man, because Mega Man's done like 20 different
Mega Man
things.
came to my mind first. I mean, yeah, there's Mega Man Soccer, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah,
there
like, do we count that?
is a fighting game actually, like an arcade Mega Man fighting game.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
believe.
That's true. Yeah, so
Yeah,
technically, I think you got to include spin-offs, like just franchise overall.
Okay.
It's really hard to think of ones. Like I was looking through and I was like, Oregon Trail? Like, I guess it's never really done like a multiplayer take, I guess, is something.
Even the Apple Arcade one? I don't remember.
No, there's like
it
there's
didn't, right?
leaderboard type things. Yeah, but nothing.
Me Googling biggest games of all time.
I know,
Like,
it's weird, right?
The list.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, oh, The Witcher? Like, oh no, Gwent is multiplayer, right? Like you can play multiplayer Gwent, so I don't think that would.
There's a spin-off, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
what about Metroid?
No, Federation
No,
Force.
there's
and
Federation
Metroid
Force.
Prime 2.
That's the one everyone
and
hated, right?
And Hunters.
Hunters.
There's Hunters as well.
It's
yeah.
kind of, it's
All right,
quietly
all
all
And
over the
Metroid
place.
Prime 2 has a multiplayer.
Yeah, who the hell brought a Metroid? They don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna mute your mic, dude, if you keep bringing up Metroid. It's so stupid because like I always have those moments. I was like, wait a minute, Tomb Raider. I was like, wait, no, they've done Tomb Raider multiplayer. Like it's
Did Mass Effect have multiplayer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mass Effect
God
3 had
damn it.
multiplayer.
Well,
really?
co-op.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm getting itchy thinking about this question.
So
Yeah, it's hard.
they had a good suggestion, and let me see if I can find this person's name before I wow you. Stephen Woodson, thank you. Sorry, Stephen. Stephen's suggestion, which I think might be correct, is Ace Attorney.
He's in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, you're gonna count that. Sorry, Steven. Sit down before you fall down. Yeah, it's
I don't
after
think
That's a cameo though,
I don't
right?
think that counts. But that's
Yeah.
good though. There's another like
I feel like it's not
paranormal
big
site,
enough.
right? Visual novel.
Sure.
Stardew Valley?
No, that's co-op.
No, it's got multi. It actually had co-op
Oh,
not
yeah,
too
it
long
does.
ago.
It totally
2
does.
years ago, I got it.
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But
Who
that
said
was like a
Stardew
few years
Valley?
ago
Jesus.
only. So
Yeah, Kyle,
No.
if you say Stardew Valley one more time, so help me God.
God damn it.
Ooh, Mellow Fellow says Silent Hill?
No, there was a Vita game I think that had multiplayer. I think
what about like
it was
the
bad, but it was I believe so. I'm gonna look that up.
what's going on with like Chrono Trigger and all that stuff?
The Chrono series is the biggest. I guess Chrono Trigger and Chrono
Yeah.
Cross. Is that it? I guess. Because even you say like the Xeno series, and Xenogears had a multiplayer like mech battling thing inside of it, if you want to include all of that.
Ooh, what about BioShock?
Bioshock 2 had multiplayer.
Oh my god,
Everything's dabbled. Everything's dabbled.
I'm not sure if this Vita Silent Hill game was multiplayer. It was like an overhead perspective. It was bad. It was one of those like, what are you doing with Silent Hill?
Yeah.
But maybe it didn't have multiplayer.
People are
but I mean,
saying-
there was that like weird episodic thing where it's like everyone watches together and votes on outcomes. I mean, that's kind of an asterisk to multiplayer.
No, I
kind
think
of
that
thing.
it does have multiplayer. Silent Hill Book of Memories, according to Wikipedia, at least there's a multiplayer.
That's what I'm looking
component.
at. It does. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
Vita game. That's not good.
Did Cyberpunk?
Ooh, wait.
No, but I guess one game, is that
Cyberpunk, I don't
counting?
know, but it's just one game.
Come on,
yeah.
man.
God of War?
Like
Yeah, Ascension
35
had
million
multiplayer.
copies.
Ascension, damn.
You can't.
One of my favorite rapid fire questions was for God of War. Was it 2018, Ben? We said,
Yeah.
is God of War Ascension multiplayer servers, are those still online? And Corey Barlog was like, I don't know.
Yeah, we asked multiple people in the studio and they did not know. Let's see. Life is Strange. Yeah,
I don't think that has multiplayer.
That-
That could be it.
that could be it. People bring up Persona, but then people are like, "Well, the Persona fighting game." Like,
the
you
spin-off, the spin-offs, unfortunately, have
yeah,
the
you can't-
multiplayer, yeah.
It's tricky. Leave a comment below. Let us know. Oh, this is fun. Clayton Dexter writes in and they say, the mixtape review last week was really fun. Interested, I go into another video review on a different channel and the comments led me to believe there is some group of people out there who really don't like mixtape. Not to dwell on particular YouTube comments, but what type of games seem to cause the big gap in opinion on certain games between critics and audience members? Do you ever think through what a popular reaction to a game would be when reviewing it? Does it ever affect your opinion? This is such a good example of just like, wait, what's going on? This is why I hate social media. It's just like, I think mixtape is cool as hell. And then I see just a bunch of people on Blue Sky basically subtweeting drama, but like, in response to the mixtape outrage. I'm like, wait, where is this mixtape outrage? Where are you following where you're seeing people lose their minds about mixtape? I had one person in my life who I'll remain nameless, who was really anti-mixtape, and I was like, that's a weird take. Like, I just don't like it then.
Tell me in
Okay.
Slack
Was it
who
Ronnie?
is.
Yeah,
Was
no,
it
I think
Ronnie?
we're all like, yeah, who are you talking about?
And let's just say, I don't know.
Put it in Slack.
I haven't listened to their podcast yet this week to see if they share their opinions publicly, so I don't want to out them for being
Let's
a
just say
hater,
that
but-
I'm opening Slack and I expect a message from you.
Okay, yeah. you get to do
I
it.
want to know who this is. Yeah,
think I
well, I
know
guess
exactly who.
to start backwards, I have some thoughts in my mind.
Please.
No, it never affects my opinion. I think if it affects your opinion and you let it affect your opinion, you're bad at this job and you should get a different one. The job of a critic is to have the guts to say whatever you think, regardless of how popular it may or may not be. I think like back to the core of the question too, what are the games that kind of tend to have like the biggest gap between like audience and critic is kind of complicated because audience is so big. Like I think a lot of times we think of the audience as like the people that are respectfully chronically online. I'm chronically online. I'm not judging, but like there's so many people that play games that like barely even know what games are coming out. You know, you talked about keeping up with releases and things. It's like like gamers are so much like wider than the people that are like consuming gaming criticism. So I guess to keep it at the people that consume game criticism, even if it's secondhand through like some YouTuber, I think the games that cause the biggest disconnect fall into two buckets usually. Sometimes three, like a messed up like anti-woke kind of bucket, and sometimes there's crossover with those buckets.
Right.
But games that are kind of like seen as stereotypically artsy, where like the gamer might be like, oh, it's dumb because it's artsy. And then the other bucket is a game that is frankly like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. But gamers have kind of decided that it's actually really cool. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand why it's fun. So, like, what comes to mind is Days Gone. Like people being mad that like, why doesn't everyone think this is the greatest game ever? And it's like, the game's fine. Like that's only the greatest game to you if you've only played like 2 games. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Like I've played that game a lot because I worked on the guide of it. And like it has some cool things to it.
totally.
Like the melee combat's cool, but like it's like pretty middling in many, many ways. And I think even people that like it probably only like it so much, like from a critical standpoint. Again, like scores and reviews are different than like how much you enjoy a game. Like enjoyment obviously comes in, but like they're somewhat separate. Like I enjoy some games that aren't very, I played that God of War game everyone hated and I liked that.
Right.
I wouldn't give that a 9 just because I had a lot of fun with it. Like, if I was scoring it.
Really?
No, definitely not. It's very flawed. I just enjoyed playing it.
I don't understand how game reviews work. Thankfully, I've never written one. But it's like, I don't know, if you're enjoying a game, doesn't that mean it gets a good review?
Hell, not to me. I mean, I think
so
like
confusing.
there's a level of enjoyment that like comes into play, but like, are the pieces good? Like, I don't know. I can enjoy a meal and it doesn't mean it's a great meal. It just means that maybe I was hungry. Like, I was really hungry and I ate that sandwich tasted better than normal kind of thing. Like I know some people might disagree with that a little bit, but like, I think they are like they're not entirely separate, but I do think they are partially separate. To me.
You can really enjoy a game and still recognize that there are major flaws with it.
Like Lego Horizons
will affect your score.
Right.
Another goated game that I would not give higher than a 6 because it's just not that interesting. It doesn't have much going for it. But I had a lot of fun playing it, and in like, especially in a podcast setting, like I try to convey that element because I think that is meaningful, like how you feel playing a game and what it brings to your life. But ultimately, like, do I think that's a good video game? Maybe barely. Which is like the weakest part of that you can be
barely.
good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the two buckets I was going to say is games with extreme fan bases, because they'll flip out and hate something for like a very specific thing that like reviewers aren't even keyed into. And then the second bucket would be like the Gooner game, where it's like, you guys don't like this game because there's boobies in it, but we really like the boobies. But that's not why we actually like it. But that is actually why they like it, and that's when
good buckets to bring up. I co-sign Jeff's buckets.
Where do you all see this type of discussion? Are you reading YouTube comments, like the mixtape debate in particular? Were you all seeing people like going hard against mixtape in the paint?
Yeah.
Where?
On Blue Sky, like so many, like
I guess on Blue
either
Sky.
whether it's critics directly speaking, like that I follow or like don't follow and they get on my algorithm, or people like quote posting on like other people's like YouTube videos or comments. Like, it's funny that this is like coming up. I think there's obviously a lot of like valid like negative criticisms towards mixtape that I've like read and heard that I think can make sense. So I'm definitely don't want to say like, and no, people that don't love this game are just like hating on it to hate on it. Like, I think there are valid criticisms of it the way there are of any game. But back to what I said, like either last episode or 2 episodes ago, I do think there are some people kind of back to the like, does it change how you talk? Where if they had this take and no one else had it, we wouldn't hear about it. I just gotta be so for real. I think some of y'all feel like I can be negative, so I will be negative. And it's like, I think that's kind of weird.
I was surprised by seeing the amount of feedback of like, you don't even do anything. It's not even a game. Or so, then don't play it. I don't know. Sure, you should know what type of game it is going into it, but like getting outraged about that, it just seems so odd.
I think, I forget who wrote, I mean, a lot of people have been writing about like the discourse as well. I forget if it was like Aftermath or elsewhere, so apologies, I can't remember, but like talking about the, you know, there is a certain sector of the internet that like they base their content, unfortunately, on just like reacting to other people's content, even when it's something like you can do yourself. Like, I understand that not everyone has the opportunity to interview like a director of a game, so maybe you react to that, but like reacting to someone's review, I feel like is just so whack. You could play it and just have your own opinion, but instead you're like gonna have your opinion on someone else's opinion. Like, I think that's just very silly. But frankly, a lot of people that get enraged by things like, oh, IGN gave this game a 10 out of 10. Like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. If you really felt like they didn't know what they were talking about, you would stop caring about what they scored. The truth is, they live in your head rent free. And I think that's crazy if you truly don't care. So I do think there's a lot of layers to that as well. I think, frankly, people that are too obsessed with like how a game is perceived kind of don't have it in them to like follow their own opinions. Like, and I see this a lot just like doing criticisms on the internet where they're like, oh, like, you said this game's bad, but I'm going to play it anyway. And I'm like, okay, totally. But like, I think deep down, you're upset that I said it's bad because you think I'm right. And that's not my problem that you think I'm right. You know, like you should feel like when I see stuff that I don't agree with, I mean, sometimes I read it and say like, you made a good point, even though I don't agree. Sometimes I read it and I'm like, I don't think this critic's very good. They don't really know what they're talking about. Either way, my day's the same. Like, it doesn't really have an impact. So the fact that it has an impact on people so severely, like, I think does speak to, you know, a lack of confidence in your own opinion. So you need people to agree with you, because if they don't, that means you're wrong by your own perception, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. Something to work on. Just intrinsically.
Everybody's got something to work on. I always, you know, I catch myself with that sometimes, but it's like, you know, if it's just like a little interpersonal thing, I'm just like, God, why am I fixated? Why is this making me so mad? And why do I want to fight this so much? It's like, oh, it's like because I know they're getting at a little bit of truth. You know, like they're digging in and kind of hitting my core in a way that's, and that's why I'm saying they're not based on puppets. Anyways, Ashley Dean writes in.
I'm with you, Poppy.
Thanks. Poppy. Ashley Dean writes in and says,
Seinfeld.
Thank you.
The pizza, yeah. I know you got it.
Thank you. When has an interview about a game, I do pee in my chair on every episode of the podcast. Ashley Dean says, when has an interview about a game made you giddy with excitement? The rapid fire you all did with Sean Murray for No Man's Sky at Game Informer was an amazing moment, even if it landed him in a bit of hot water afterwards. Yeah, that was a interesting one. Can you all think of a time when an interview has made you giddy?
I was gonna say Sean Murray.
Really?
Talking about
Yeah.
No Man's Sky is just like such a dream game for me. Like in terms of large concepts, even if they all weren't in the game at day one, he got there. Whenever he talks about the new game where you play as a bird people or whatever, I'm gonna be super excited.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that game.
I am curious when the whole thing's going to be coming up. Yeah. It is just like, sell me something huge, even if it's going to crash and burn. Like, you know what? Every once in a while, I do like hearing a Peter Molyneux with a nice voice saying something calming and ambitious, even if it's bullshit, you know, and you shouldn't pre-order it based on the conversation, see how it pans out. But it's like, yeah, sure. Paint me a picture of how you think these games should work. Why not?
The recent Zach Kreger sort of interview run of him talking about his Resident Evil movie has weirdly a lot of the things he was saying were getting me very excited, which is a weird line to draw. But he is talking about his Resident Evil movie the way Greta Gerwig talked about Barbie, where it's like,
sure,
where he was like Greta Gerwig was like, I wrote a Barbie movie and I like pitched it to them, and if they didn't want to do it, or if they wanted me to do something different, I was done. Like I wanted to make this thing, you know. And he's saying very similar things about Resident Evil, where he's like, I had an idea I wanted to execute. I like Resident Evil. I brought it to Capcom. If they weren't interested or tried to get me to make or ask me to do something different, I would have passed. I just wanted to do this idea. And that is always that's exciting to me, you know, is like just like really committing to a specific idea. I know it's outside of games, quote unquote, you know, because it's like filmmaking. But I love that idea of like a creator being like, I wanted to do this, and if they didn't want it, I wasn't going to make it. You know, like that's exciting to me.
What do you think about Greta Gerwig's Narnia? And like what some executive at Netflix, I think it was, he's like, it's like Pink Floyd. It's like prog rock, weird Narnia. I was like, what? Like,
well,
like,
I read The Magician's Nephew for the first time because I think she's doing it.
Yeah.
Right. I know we're going side tangent here.
Of course.
I read The Magician's Nephew a couple of years ago to my daughter, like not quite understanding what it was. And that book is weird in a cool way. That's like much more interesting than sort of what I know about Narnia. It's not really like a series I know very well.
Okay.
But The Magician's Nephew is like interdimensional travel between portals and stuff like that. And like almost like that weird, like Dark Souls kind of like you just you go through a portal and you end up in this place and there's this like grizzled dying person sitting on a throne who's lost their mind, and you're just like, who are you? What is this place? And then you like get out of there. I was really sort of enamored with like how weird that book was. So I'm excited about that. I don't know if it's going to be that dark, but like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is whatever. I think I read that book when I was a kid. I don't know it.
I was into it. Like those books were important to me. Yeah.
I'm not being dismissive. It's just not one that ever like hooked into me.
Yeah.
But The Magician's Nephew is really interesting because it sort of examines the idea of like, wait, how did a wardrobe create a portal to another dimension? And are there other portals? So that kind of stuff is fun. I'm into that.
That's honestly something to lock into of like, what is she doing with this? If you just say it's a movie about portals between worlds, like, cool. All right. That sounds interesting. I want to see Greta Gerwig's portal movie.
Yeah.
NZombieG writes in, they say, hey cohorts, there have been numerous events in my gaming career that shifted my perspective on what games are. The first generations of iPhones and Indie Game the Movie showed me that game development was an actual job and something that small teams and even a single person can do. Despalote and Consume Me showed me how compelling biographical games can be. My first PC showed me the drive and addiction that competitive shooters can hold over me. As game journalists, you have played or at least demoed more games than most people. What are some things that drastically changed your perception of games or the game industry as a whole? Tricky.
It's crazy playing like RPGs, like specifically, well, any RPGs really, because I didn't grow up playing RPGs very much. I played Golden Sun as a kid, but that was like kind of it. So playing like RPGs that are like more specifically like, you know, that have like the style of like what Fallout has. Like the first time I played Fallout, which was way after it came out, I still need to go back and actually like see Fallout all the way through. And I stole something and I got in trouble for it. That like blew my mind, like just that layer of interactivity. And I think that's something that's, you know, really fun about exploring like genres that are like new to you. Like obviously we all have our tastes, and I don't think you should necessarily like force your taste to change. But I really enjoy going outside of my taste as often as I can, because sometimes it can be like really illuminating to like something I didn't really know I liked. And I'm like, oh, I wish I had this earlier, because it would have been like the coolest thing ever. But that's one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like industry stuff. I think for me, that was the big eye opener. And specifically, it was like starting to visit studios at Game Informer for revealing these big games, you know, like a Skyrim or Mass Effect or Battlefield 3 or whatever, and just seeing like, oh, public relations departments. Like I had never really considered that, you know, and just realizing like, okay, these are the gatekeepers that are trying as best as they can to keep things tight and control exactly which information is getting out where. Like that entire ecosystem I was really naive about. And like, just the other day, I was thinking about specifically Game Informer interviews, just interviews in general. And yes, I'm frustrated with publishers and developers when they're really tight in interviews. And, you know, like we recently had a couple of like rapid fire interviews shot down. You know, there was somebody who released a big game recently, you know, that we were trying to line up a rapid fire interview about for months and months and months and months and months. And they're like, okay, we'll do it, but we need to have every single question in advance. I was like, are you out of your fucking minds? No, like that's insane.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, it's outrageous. And yet like, I'm sympathetic to the idea of that, you know, they answer one thing incorrectly and the internet spins and potentially hundreds of millions of dollars and years of hundreds of developers' work could be shot or at least severely damaged, you know? And like, not to overstate the importance of interviews, but like it does happen. Maybe every year and a half where it's just like, oof, bad interview. And now this entire game is cast in a bad light. And I understand that's kind of PR's job is to make sure that doesn't happen. But it's like, I think it's worth having a little bit of empathy about that idea of like, yeah, these developers were nervous their first time on camera talking about these games, especially back in like the Game Informer days. Cause like, yeah, how they're framing things can pivot all of their friends and colleagues' work after years and years of their lives. You know, it's like, that is the scariest thing. That's like being shot to the moon. That is way too much pressure for some people when they just want to make games and not try and be polished on camera. And so it's a weird world that even though I've been thinking about it for 16 years or whatever now, I still am fascinated by it. It's like, yeah, how do you be open and transparent in a way that's hopefully endearing for an audience without sacrificing that idea of like, I need to keep things tight to keep my team alive, you know?
Well, and I think they've also realized that from a PR perspective, it doesn't matter because they can put out, like, it doesn't matter in the sense that they can put out their own video, like behind the scenes or whatever, and most people don't even see a difference between that and an interview from an actual journalist. So they can have complete control over their message. Why would they go to someone who's going to ask questions that they don't know what the questions are and they can't control? They can't kill the answer if they don't like how it makes them look.
And the answer is like, no one's going to pay that much attention to your officially released Q&As. Like, it always just makes me laugh when on the PlayStation blog or Xbox Wire, it's like, we have an exclusive interview with this developer. I'm like, exclusive? You're Xbox. What are you talking about exclusive? But they frame it like that so much, you know? But I do think you need a little bit of that sauce, a little bit of that spice, a little bit of questions that are oddball that maybe they're scared to answer in some ways. And if they answer it gracefully, to have it kind of spread around the internet in a positive way, you know? So I do think obviously there's a role for it, but it's delicate. I get it.
My answer was going to be the last year or two with just, it seems like AAA games are completely imploding, and like the thousands and thousands of layoffs made me realize of like, I don't think AAA developers know what they're doing anymore or how to make it work. And with how much indie games have risen at the same time, and part of that is just my own personal interests and like how much more joy I'm getting out of indie games, that it's like, this is as much of a seismic shift as I think I've seen during my career in games journalism, of just like whatever, you know, like whatever the next gen was going to be, we still had a sense there was going to be a next gen, and we knew who the players were going to be in it and like what the business model was going to be. And we still had some sense that business model was a viable thing. And like, I'm not confident in any of those questions anymore or the answers to them at this point.
Yeah, it is. It feels so good to have Capcom out there being like, Pragmata worked, everybody. You know, everyone's like, look, AAA can still function out here. 2 million copies sold or whatever. They have a new IP. There we go. You know, but for that to be, it feels like an outlier of just like, oh, we took a AAA swing and we made our money back. You know, which I don't think they've technically even said that yet, but.
And that's they're a AAA company that has reasonable expectations of what they're going to make and what they're going to sell compared to so many are hinging on this giant whale that is just not coming, and the amount of money that they're spending to try and catch it is just like jamming them up until the point where they just close the studio afterwards. And that's a scary position for almost the entire industry to be in. At least we'll always have Capcom. But
Capcom and Nintendo will go strong.
I'd like
forever.
to play some other non-Capcom games too.
Why?
Well, you don't get to, Jeff.
Yeah,
So
no,
eat your Capcom
apparently
and
not.
say thank you.
That's true.
It is, I mean, it is so wild, and I know it's the big discussion and cliche, but just to think about like the pressure on Intergalactic from Naughty Dog. You know, think about that game releasing 7 years, 8 years after their last real release, and just like if that doesn't
And
work,
it's in space.
and it's a
Space
space
makes me
game.
nervous.
What do you mean space makes you nervous?
I just
can't
feel
breathe
like
out
the
there.
space game thing. Yeah, yeah. Just in general, like I have a mask on. I don't know. It just feels like an outdated trend already.
Yeah,
And granted, you know,
interesting.
they were in the same position when they made their zombie game, and that was like one of the greatest games ever.
Right.
So maybe it'll be okay, but I don't know.
Nah, give me
No
all
one's
the
too big to
space.
fall ever. I feel like that's a good lesson to like know. And I feel like for a while there was that conversation in the industry of like, this studio just knows how to make good games, so they're every game they're going to make is going to be good. And then I think we've seen enough studios that have a great track record maybe not land on something that's like undebatably successful, like Bethesda and so on, to now we kind of, I think, have a more critical eye towards what's coming out. And it's not just like, well, obviously this is going to be like the best game we've ever played, even though maybe it might, but what's more likely? It's always more likely that it's not.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is just so wild to think about the scale of projects these days and how, realistically, trying to think of anything can compare. Like on planet Earth, in terms of just complexity in a creative project and the amount of things that can possibly go wrong. You know, like you could spend the rest of your life analyzing everything that's happening in the development of Naughty Dog's Intergalactic. If you had like an omniscient view, you know, it's just like there are a million decisions and hundreds of people pushing different directions. Like there's nothing comparable. And so the idea of like, well, of course it'll all turn out right because it's Naughty Dog, but it's like there's a million things that can go wrong at any point.
And at the end of it all, you have to have an audience of tens of millions of people
Yes.
who are willing to pay $80, you know,
Right.
$70 or $80 for it. It's not like, you know,
And have the hardware already.
Netflix can like sink $100 million, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars into something, and then they just have to have their paying customers watch it for free in
Right,
order for it to
right.
be a success. Like the way that people are shifting how they're spending money, what kind of disposable income they have to spend on video games in the first place, and if they're going to put that into any $80 game other than, you know, GTA 6, like that's always going to be a big ask.
Yeah. Even,
And,
you know,
and an uncertain one, even when the game's good.
yeah, even, you know, the head of 2K did an interview, I think with Game Business recently, just talking about like, yeah, the pressure is terrifying of GTA 6. You know, like it's a miracle if that game comes out and everybody says, all right, great game, cool. Like it's going to be an atomic bomb of reactions, you know? It's so scary to think of how many things are hinging on that, including thousands of people's jobs. I mean, it's so weird. Fun to cover, but weird.
Weird.
AJ Nath wrote in, said, hey, there was a discussion about pizza and video game names on the last episode of the podcast about which video game names on a menu would be the best for pizzas. You all should have mentioned Super Meat Boy. Yeah, I'm sorry. If we didn't, that was our bad. Yeah, there was good feedback rolling in on social media and in the comment section for all that. You know, Kelsey Lewin suggested Raw Danger is a good name for a pizza, which is pretty good. Consume Me God Eater.
That was my favorite one.
Yeah, it's a good.
God
one.
Eater's
God
good.
Eater's a good one. If you see it
God
on a pizza
Hand.
menu, God Hand. Triangle Strategy. It's a good pizza name. A couple of terrible suggestions. Wet. Millipede. I liked Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That would be a good name for a
Cute.
pizza. Why the hell not?
Boogerman.
Booger Man. Not Penny's Goat writes in to say, what's your favorite sandwich?
Roast beef is like I'll always it's just like I'm usually pretty happy with a roast beef sandwich. It's not necessarily like I like what I'm craving, but like if I'm not sure what to get, like I'll always usually be pretty happy with a roast beef
I don't
sandwich.
think I don't even know if I've ever had a roast beef sandwich in my life, let alone one from like Arby's or
I
wherever.
feel like I've
Like,
had it like once. I don't like roast beef. It's kind of dry.
it's weird.
What about the Waluigi at the that place
I
downstairs?
didn't eat
from,
that filth.
You didn't eat that?
That
Dan
was,
named it for you.
There's a sandwich shop next to Game Informer's old office. Yeah.
I like any
I
kind
see
of
what my-
Italian sandwich. They're usually Italian heroes, but
Why do you sound so defeated as you talk about it?
I don't know. It's
You're
is
allowed
that,
to
okay.
is that conversation lighting anyone's feet on fire?
I'm
They're
feeling
good
warm.
sandwiches. They're good
Okay,
sandwiches.
all right, all
It's
right.
a little something for me,
listen,
all right.
honestly, what my favorite, if I could magically have any sandwich at any point in time in life, if you want a great sandwich, go to any little deli in New York, and you don't even need to know the name of it. Just walk in, get an Italian hero from any of them, and it's going to be the best sandwich you ever had.
Okay, you're my Italian hero, Jeff. I was just up at like Sea Salt, if you remember, where in the Minneapolis travelogue from last year when we were at the waterfall, and they have like a restaurant up there, and they have a little sandwich shop and ice cream place and stuff, and I just got this sandwich there that was out of this world, and it's called the Uncle Harry's, and it was like sausage brisket, and then like covered in hot honey, which I think the secret to everything in life is just hot honey now. It's like it improved pizza in such a huge way, and now the idea of like, wait, hot honey sandwiches? Of course this is way better. So that's my new religion. Jonathan Fenn writes in, they say, will retro-inspired game aesthetics have a cutoff point at a certain point in time? Can you really see developers specifically designing games with a PS4 style in 15 years' time? What would that mean?
I thought it was an interesting question because I feel like Pragmata was kind of, people would call that out as like having Xbox 360, PS4 vibes. And
Yeah,
I
well, those are-
agree, you know?
But that's the
different
energy,
gens.
not the look, though.
I suppose so. But yeah, I guess if you're specifically talking about a look, I don't really know what that is. Yeah.
It just kind of feels like the PS4 vibe is like budget PS5 vibe, I guess. Of like,
Yeah,
oh, these
right,
people are
yeah.
trying to do an Uncharted and it's a little janky. That feels like a PS4 game, you know? Like I think that's kind of just the,
Yeah.
but maybe we don't even know what the PS5 vibe is yet because it feels like, I don't really know if it's locked
I
in for
feel
enough
like-
game releases yet.
PS1 is like the last era of, okay, we're making I'm going to make an indie game in a style of an older system. I don't know what
I
PS2
could see PS2.
like.
I could see PS2
Is
getting
that
in there.
just kind of like kind of muddy visuals?
Yeah, like it's like slightly less jagged. I could see it happening.
I'm sure it's happened a fair bit. Yeah, it's like I feel like there's been a rise over the last 5 years of like I guess a Pragmata, Kyle, of people comparing it to like PS3 360 generation, right? I feel like there's been a rise of people being like, this feels like a PS3 game. You know, we
Yeah.
even said about like Kunitsugami, stuff like that. Like the PS3 almost feels like as current as we can get for sensing. Like this feels like it's in that arena.
What was
But
the
it's design ethos, not
Yeah.
like art direction.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was the RPG? A People of Note
Yes.
had a very PS2 vibe to it because it just felt so Final Fantasy X specifically.
Right.
To me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. Yeah. Let's see. Joe Dean, in honor of Kyle probably finishing Star Trek Deep Space Nine, could we get Kyle to share his final thoughts on Star Trek? Wrap it up,
That's
sucker.
I'm done. That's it. It's
No
a
more
lot of space.
thinking about it or
Janet,
talking
so
about it.
Every year's.
They say, why does it persist? What makes Deep Space Nine special? Favorite episodes, etc.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go too deep onto this, but yeah, I really adored Deep Space Nine. Like if you, it is now my like Star Trek recommendation if someone's like sort of casually interested, like what should I check out? Like I think I would point to Deep Space Nine first.
Huh.
Despite loving the characters of Next Generation, stuff like that, because it's just such a specific idea, and like, you know, and it was like early attempts at like sort of seasons long storytelling, like show arcs and things like that. They still have a lot of individual episodes, and and the result is it finds a good balance of like there's a larger story that's really interesting. There's a war with a race of aliens who can shapeshift and change what they look like, and it's like bringing the galaxy together in a lot of ways. The Klingons and everyone are like all working together. But then there's like an episode where like the captain has to teach everyone what baseball is, so they can play his they can play a game of baseball in the holodeck, because his rival from Starfleet Academy, this Vulcan, it was like wants to compete in baseball with him, and you still have those like weird, goofy episodes that are super fun. So yeah.
So like Next Generation, I know they have like kind of like sequels to episodes and running storylines, but it's not like season arcs at all in Next Generation.
No, there's a war happening about like halfway through Deep Space Nine that does not conclude until the show ends. It's like 4 or 5 seasons later, which is very cool.
Yeah.
And just quickly, one of my favorite episodes is there's a character named Miles O'Brien who like at least once a season, they just have to put him through hell. They just like it, like literally the writer said, yeah, we just like tried to give him the worst day of his life at least once a season. And there's an episode where he wakes up in a prison cell and he's like been there for like 30 years. And you find out what happened was he accidentally broke some law on some alien planet. And what this planet does is they, instead of putting people in jail, they inject you with memories of having been in jail. So he believed that he was in jail for like 30 years, and then he got out and he had to go back and like go see his wife and kid who had not aged a day. Like he was gone for like 48 hours, but he had lived 30 years in jail. And it's like this hellish idea, which is like cool science fiction stuff. But also, the thing that I loved about it so much is a big part of the episode was him going to therapy and trying to figure out how to get past it. And the episode concludes with him being like, yeah, that's like a part of my life now that I just have to deal with. And I'm just going to keep working in therapy and try to figure out how to move on. And it's like, I don't know. It just was really a forward-thinking idea with like great science fiction ideas, and then that actor who plays Miles is so fun. It's like, yeah, it's a great show. I'm genuinely sad that I've completed it. I'm sad that I don't have more Deep Space Nine to watch.
It should be. What is it? Why is that so satisfying to have like emotional consequences to fiction? Like, I still love Iron Man 3 and how so much of it was, you know, Tony Stark just being like, the end of Avengers, that was fucked up. Like, I had to go into space, and like a lot of people died in New York City. And it's like, is it just so rare that it's refreshing to be like, yeah, traumatized, please?
I mean, Next Generation does it too.
Attack?
Yeah, right.
The captain gets.
I went to the restaurant where he had the panic attack outside of, and I was like, this is where it happened.
Wow, delicious sandwiches. Check it out.
Yeah, but Star Trek, good stuff.
Okay, buddy.
Thanks for giving me a platform to talk about Star Trek. People just don't get to talk about Star Trek enough.
They should. Kyle Nazario says, my partner has been getting into rock collecting lately. It's a good partner you got there. The U.S. Bureau of Land Management says if you go to territory that they manage, you can collect a, quote, reasonable number of rocks. What would you consider to be a reasonable number of rocks to collect?
I love these questions.
Tough.
I'm going to say it can't be more than like 12 in my mind.
12 is reasonable?
8 was my arbitrary number, but I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah. And
I'd say like a bucket.
A bucket?
If you're outside at a park, you know how many rocks there are?
Yeah.
I like how immediately mad you get at me saying me pushing back on the bucket. You're like, yeah, what the hell else are you going to carry in your pocket? I'm like, fair enough, John, fair enough.
Yeah, there's
rock collectors carrying around buckets though. I guess like, sorry, I'm ignorant to your rock culture, but I don't know if it's like, y'all got buckets? Anyone in the chat collecting rocks? What's going on?
It shouldn't change the suspension on your car. I think as you're driving out of that area.
That's a lot of rocks.
That's a lot of rocks. It's like a family I knew once, they'd go on a family trip to like a national park every year. And let's just say their parents just stole as many rocks as possible, even though it was highly illegal. And to the point that the car was like bottoming out as it would drive
what are you doing
back.
These rocks?
Okay, hold on.
Question.
USForestService.gov says recreational mineral collecting, generally a reasonable amount is up to 10 pounds.
10 pounds.
Oh, that's a lot of rocks.
That's a lot of rocks. That's one good boulder. Wow. Okay. That's
Okay, what is that in buckets, Jeff?
Boulder's a lot more than 10
that's a good
pounds,
question.
just to be
Depends
clear.
Not the way I
Bucket,
lifted,
okay.
Kyle.
What bucket did you have in mind, Jeff? Because I was picturing like a gallon, like a Home Depot kind of.
I guess I was thinking more pail.
A pail? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we're not so different, you and I.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. What do y'all like for question of the week, y'all? There's rocks.
The rocks was kind of fun. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie. It was kind of
Yeah.
fun.
The gaming reactions to certain games, eye-opening things about the game industry or games, the series that didn't have any multiplayer.
I like the multiplayer one also.
I like the multiplayer
On top
one.
I like that one
of
because it's going to
rocks.
stick with me for a while.
Hold on, guys.
Oh.
In Washington, apparently it's 25 pounds per day.
What?
Well,
The
there's your whole
yearly
week
limit
right there.
is 250 pounds.
Wow.
They hate when you use
So-
those hacks. They had to add who they had the yearly limit for. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, someone is pushing it.
Because it feels like it came after the fact. They said, you know what?
Yeah.
It's not enough to say 25 a day. We got to put the yearly limit on
Yeah,
it.
only 10 days basically that you can do it.
Weird.
But man, you live for those 10 days, baby.
I suppose
Barely
you bring your
collected.
kid though. That's another 250 pounds.
them a pail.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
They have to haul it out.
yeah,
of
kids
there.
eat rocks
Take the
free, I think is the
spouse.
policy.
It's the rocks free.
There you go. Stephen Woodson, multiplayer question. Question of the week. Jeffem, you concur?
Sure.
Awesome. Congratulations, Stephen. iMapeit will ship out that Hades vinyl soundtrack. Thanks to everybody who submitted a question this week. Now it's time for something that we love to call Get a Load of This. Hey, get a load of this. Fun little fact. The MinnMax Spotlight, where we went to Spain. Check it out on MinnMax's YouTube channel if you haven't. But the composer for Deconstruct Team there, working on Virtue and Sledgehammer and a ton of other stuff, she just announced that she wrote a bunch of music for Minecraft, for like a big Minecraft update called Chaos Cubed. And it's cool because like it's kind of her style, is very synthy, ethereal, and it sounds like Minecraft music. So it's awesome that now Paula over there, Fingerspit as her stage name goes, the musical name, composer name. But yeah, now she's an official Minecraft composer, which she was very secretive. Is there like, I worked on a big project that I cannot say anywhere.
Hey, get a load of this. On Reddit, someone took the famous Nirvana the band, the show song, the We Shop Update Day song,
Yeah.
and they just cut out all the games that aren't available to play on Switch. And it's exactly what you think, and it's just, it will crack you up if you've listened to that song as many times as I have, to just hear a version where they're like Ninja Gaiden 1, Ninja Gaiden 2, and then it just like cuts off. It's like,
Do they count the remake of Super Mario RPG?
no, I don't think they do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Tricky.
But it made me laugh.
Get a load of this.
Uh-oh, you both have to say it at the same
Oh
time?
my
No.
god. Well, what do we do now, Bucket Boy? Okay, I'll just go. Get a load of this. I went to the USC Games Expo yesterday, which was really fun. Definitely want to make that an annual thing. It's college here in LA, and they just were showing off like the student games, and they have like a web page where you can go and like theoretically like download and play all of them. So just kind of like a cool, you can do a games expo at home kind of situation. I've always wanted to do that for a stream, like we have PAX at home or whatever, because there's always so many demos out. But yeah, just kind of cool. You might find the next big designer or the next like cool project and kind of get it on the ground floor. So check it out.
Sweet. Links below.
Thanks. Get a load of this. This is some kid on YouTube called Dominic64. And his videos, he's made several videos. One is called How I Made Amazing Digital Circus as 1940s Classic Disney Movie Music. Basically, he is super into old, like, Disney music, Looney Tunes era, and, like, 1950s Tom and Jerry music. And he does these tutorials in Fruity Loops, which is just, like, a digital audio workstation. And he, like, walks through how he takes, like sampled orchestra, different instruments and like pieces them together and layers them. And then he writes like orchestral scores, like the kinds that you would see in all of those classic cartoons. And he has scored a couple as examples. And they are indistinguishable from like the actual ones. And he like sings all the chorus sections and then like, changes all the tempo or tones to him and everything, and it is freakish, and he looks like he's about 16 years old, and he's just really into this one very specific thing, and it's very charming to see.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Links below in the MinnMax Discord. There's a little of this channel where people share stuff all day, every day. And Sprinter Star shared this video that's just officially released by Pokemon, but it's the Pokemon Winds and Waves orchestra performing the main theme, like the main theme recording with a full orchestra. And it's so good and so fun to watch and hear. It's like, I want this to be like a new staple in the rollout of big games. Like, why the hell not release this early? Get people excited. It doesn't take any assets. They're not revealing any new info on the game. Like, instead of just rolling this music underneath the next trailer, just make it a marketing beat. You got like teaser trailer, orchestra main theme recording, first official trailer. Like, get it in the rotation. It's a super good idea. Well, hey, that's it for this episode of the MinnMax Show. Thanks everybody for watching, listening, sharing, all that fun stuff. Janet, you got something you want to plug?
Oh, yeah. I gotta stop forgetting what I'm going to plug. I am doing a new show over through Remap Radio with Patrick Klepek. Name is TBD, but it is us ranking every platformer that has ever existed. We started with episode 0. We came up with like our 5 favorites and then just sort of compared them, talked about them. We each play a little bit of them. It is through like their one of their supporter tiers, like their library tier over on their website. But you can also catch the streams just for free. We stream on twitch.tv/ I think it's just Remap Radio. And then the VODs will be on YouTube. So you can get a little taste of it even if you're not paying. But it's really, really exciting. It's like my favorite genre ever. It's Patrick's favorite genre ever. So it's like a very cool combo of something that we have a lot of expertise in that we don't really get to use too often, but also like getting to learn more about the genre because there are plenty of platformers that neither of us have played. And I'm really excited to play Glover. So like, I don't know. It's been a blast already. Like that's where Kyle, you mentioned Jumping Flash the other day. And I was like, I just played that for the show. So it's just been really, really cool. So get in there and throw your freak picks into the ring and we'll rank them.
Hell yeah. I enjoyed watching you all play Klonoa the other day too. I was like, oh yeah, Klonoa.
Yeah, God, I'd want to get to Klonoa for so, it's like, it's just a fun time. I made Patrick play Super Mario Land 2 6 golden coins and show him the Mario Balls level, which was really upsetting for him. It's just like it's the Wild West out there. So very excited.
Love it. Let's see. We also have the new episode of Pew Pew Bang that just dropped on Monday. It's all about fashion and the world of fashion video games. So subscribe to Pew Pew Bang on your favorite podcast app. You can follow the Pew Pew Bang socials. Look it up, right, G in it?
Yeah, we're over on Blue Sky under the handle. It's popular now, Pew Pew Bang, just .bluesky.social. And then we're on Instagram and TikTok, I believe, under Pew Pew Bang Pod. So check that out. And
then also, we mentioned that Rapid Fire with Kyle Bossman about Mina The Hollower that's up on our YouTube channel. So you can watch that if you'd like. It was super fun to think, God, Kyle Bossman would be fun and good at doing these rapid fires. Then to reach out to him and he wanted to do Mina. Of all the games, I think we could line that up, and it's really fun to plan that with them. And specifically, something for people at the Backstage Pass tier, we shared this link, but we like doing test screenings of those. We get a long, rough, shaggy cut, and then just watch it with a lot of our $10 supporters in that Backstage Pass channel and Discord, just to get reactions. Be like, this joke sucks. This joke is maybe better than I thought. This would be a good social clip. Yada yada yada. But it was really fun to have Kyle Bossman there, Leo in there. And I don't know, I'm a Kyle Bossman fan, and it's fun to collaborate on him with that stuff. Just be if I would want to see his creative input and how he would direct and edit. And so I think it was just really fun recording that with him and just hearing his take. I'm like, oh, I would leave my laugh there. I would remove my laugh here. It's those level of little details. Okay, this is fun to see the creative process and to see that video kind of come together. So if you're at the $10 tier, you can check that out. Otherwise, reminder, we have the deepest dive on 007 First Light. We're tackling that. That's going to be launching with the game that's coming out at the end of May here. So if you want to join along in our multi-part game club discussion with a fun crew and submit your comments for us to read during that discussion, that's going to be an option for you. If you support us at any tier on Patreon, you can submit a comment for us to read. Otherwise, other things ongoing in May, Doc Lightning, the MinnMax short documentary Game Jam is going on. Game Jam, film festival is another way to put it. So if you have ever wanted to jump in and make a documentary, even with your phone, under 3 minutes, use free editing software, no pressure, Amateurs welcome. That is going on at the end of May. We'll wrap that up and then have a screening of all that stuff and celebrate everybody's work. But there's a Discord channel of people planning out their documentaries and lining up interviews and all this stuff right now. So you have until the end of May. So get on that. Doc Lightning people. You need to be a Patreon supporter to jump in there. And then again, reminder about the meetup in Kyoto. So check out the link in the description if you're going to be in Kyoto on Friday, May 22nd on that evening. Details below if you want to check that out. But that is it for this episode of the podcast. We'll be back next week with a whole new one. Thanks so much, everybody. Until next time, be good, have fun, let's go.